come down and we haven't started well. So from a midfielder point of view, it is really all about you guys starting the game.
Yeah, it is. And look, certainly there'll be you wouldn't think there'd be a lot of clean ball early. There'd just be bodies flying everywhere. And you already highlighted about the contested nature of both these two teams. They're exceptional at ground ball.
And Easton Wood has won the toss, Vossi, and is kicking to what is the right of screen or the city end of the MCG.
And they also like to handball out of it and try and get on the outside. So I'd imagine early, Mick, there's going to be plenty of bodies that are crashing into one another. And I don't expect a lot of clean ball going into the forward half, but it's probably just going to set up latter parts of the game.
Oh, absolutely. One of the interesting stats, if you like stats for the game, these are clearances. Kennedy 185, Parker 153, Henry 121. Now that's only 400. It takes upon the penalty 1 and 3. Liberatory 87, we missed a few weeks. Wallace is not playing at 73. The next one is Dalhouse. It substantially falls into the Sydney thing as far as the number of clearances goes, and it's the same with goal kickers, same with inside 50. So the Dogs have got here because they're able to resurrect the football on most occasion when it becomes a loose ball. And that's going to be the test.
Final tips, boys?
Doggies for me.
Mine's sentimental. Dogs.
Well, I'm going Dogs by 10 points.
The biggest thing here, Hutto, is guys coming off the line at the first bounce and getting a little bit overawed with the occasion. They want to come in, as you said, Vossi, is smash blokes, knock blokes over. You can go away from winning the footy, you can go after the man a little bit, and that's the most important thing from a Doggies point of view, is not to go too man conscious. Just go the ball. Just go the ball.
So players getting into their positions now. No real surprises. Clay Smith, Tom Boyd, Dixon going forward.
The other, and Hamling's the one going to Buddy at the moment. Fletcher Roberts going to tip it, and looks like Morris, who I thought would go to Papley, try and knock the young bloke on his backside.
So the heady mix of anticipation and trepidation. Into the great unknown we go. The Western Bulldogs and the Sydney Swans. The sun is out at the MCG and the 2016 Grand Final is underway. Not the perfect bounce. Tap down, it's in hot dispute. McVeigh comes off the line. Laidler there. It's edged the Bulldogs' way and good pressure early, but Parker gets the handball out to Laidler, who dumps the kick out to the wing. Johannesson handball almost as he got it in such haste, and he's done well. Now Bontempelli receives from Rufford. Driving kick. Tom Boyd drops the first real attempt to mark. Came bouncing off his chest. Hanbury was there, working in cahoots with Kennedy, who kicks Sydney to the wing. Kurt Tippett up. He spills the mark. Put back up Naismith. He's rushed the kick. It's a scrubby old ball onto the wing. Rufford cleared the path, and in went Boyd Matthew, but his handball no good. Naismith, though, is shut down straight away, and holding the ball, advantage paid, although there wasn't much of an advantage. Yeah, and the ball just was bouncing every which way. It's back in hot dispute on the southern wing in the early moments of the grand final, and there's a free kick for some holding on going the Bulldogs' way, and Johannesson pounces and takes that advantage. It's off to Morris.
He does, and he got the handball away to Handling. It's a low ball, almost trapped that time. Lloyd comes in, got the handball away. McVeigh now digs in, got the handball out to Kennedy.
It's a hot ball, Matty.
And Kennedy goes to Heaney, and Heaney goes to the outer side. And it's going to be Jack. He drops. He got some high contact, free kick, and advantage taken. Hanbury to Buddy! The big Budster takes the mark. Outside the 50, he'll play on. He'll go short, overcooks it. Papley couldn't take it. Tippett, he's been wrapped up. Dalhouse, big tackle. And the umpire will come in and he'll let play go on momentarily. They're able to scramble.
Hottest thing I've seen in a long time, boys.
Liberatore was able to scramble a kick out of the danger area up to the wing. Hot footy on. Lloyd couldn't take it. In goes Clay Smith. He's wrapped up in the tackle, and eventually the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Really interesting that Franklin didn't have that shot. He could have settled the nerves a little bit. He's on 50. He's a 55-metre kick every day of the week. So
well, his inside 50 passing has been so great, but he just completely overcooked that one.
From the bounce, it's grabbed by Ruffhead. They've got an extra number down there, the Dogs, but it fell for Laidler, and he's been interfered with on the way, and he takes the mark, so held up very well then. Worked the handball to Nick Smith across the defensive goal square, and he spies Lloyd, who takes the mark at half back, just inside defensive 50 as they work this, the members' side of the MCG. He kicks it down along the line for Gary Rowan. Morris is there and just nudges him subtly. The ball gets out the back. Morris got it, was able to escape, gave it to Picken and returned the favour. Another handball to Clay Smith. Abrupt move back to Picken, kept on coming. Vacant goal square. Stringer's there short. He went over his head. Maybe a rush of blood. Heaney's able to gather the bouncing ball. Stretches the handball back to Grundy, defensive goal square. and he kicks it out to half-back. Still no score, 3 minutes gone. Out in front of Hanbury, who can take it, but he decides the conservative route. Arcs back inside Liberatore and kicks it to Naismith. See what he can generate off half-back. The big ruckman has had a few touches already, gives it back to McVeigh.
So McVeigh, just the easy kick out. Mark taken by McGlynn, just backward of the wing here for the Swannies. On the southern side, he kept it low and Papali spilt the beans, able to regather. Didn't go the first option. Naismith gets involved. McVeigh again will get it onto the boot, and he kicks it to half forward. Franklin will come and crash the pack. There was no mark. Eastonwood out the back. He got the handball away to Bontempelli. Bontempelli will clear it, and Johannisen on the stretch takes the mark for the Doggies just backward of the wing.
Looks ahead. He's got Roughead short, and he notices him, and he takes the mark forward to the centre. Off to Dalhouse. It goes to that man Stringer in front. Rampy got the fist to it first time. They tried to flash through, but Clay Smith.
Good by Rampy.
Wow. Couldn't take the ball with him, and Grundy's able to steer the pass.
He was just to go back on that, Rampy, Stringer had all the forward 50, had all the momentum to do whatever he wanted there, and Rampy stuck with him the whole way. That was brilliant defence.
Pokes the kick to Kennedy, and he handballs outside defensive 50. Had to arch the back then. Lloyd kicks it from half back. Almost a half forward. Tip it against two dogs. Wood was one of those. Tapped it down to Rowan. Rowan on ground level. Tried to get up, and he's gone. He was cornered. Right there, ready and waiting for him was Matthew Boyd. And a good wraparound tackle from Boyd. Still no score after 4 minutes in the opening quarter of the grand final for Etihad Stadium, only in Medallion Club.
It's almost what you expect from a game like this, with no scoring, great pressure through the 250-metre arcs.
Oh, that's a good mark, Grundy. A contested mark, Glen Cameron Group contender at half-back.
Get to half shortly for a feel from ground level. Jump in now if you want half. If you've got anything to say at this early stage.
At the half of the moment, as Grundy will take his kick. He'll kick it back to the members' side wing as they all fly for it. Roughead. Good mark. He was the man in front and he dragged it down.
He's seeing it all right by the look of that.
He started well too, Ruffy.
So Roughead with the free kick. Still no score after nearly 5 minutes of play as Roughead launches. He goes to half forward, wanting Boyd. Had to knock it down. Ground level, McRae got the handball away to Pickin. Clay Smith. McRae again goes to the centering kick and turns it over. Kieran Jack takes the football, and then his kick was charged down. Good pressure, Doggies, and they're all over, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
They've made some mistakes, the Dogs, but their pressure's good every time they do.
The pressure's the only reason they got him off. Go half.
Buddy's going down the race. He's got an ankle issue. Early in the game,
there was that big marking contest that he flew for half. He came crashing through, and I reckon that was it.
Bontempelli tries to wrest it away from the pack. He gets good back up from Biggs. The former Swan linked up with the running Johannisen from 80. He angles the kick for Dixon on the full stretch. It's getting away from him, and it bounces head over head and goes over the line and out of bounds about 40 metres around from the goal. The Bulldogs are attacking, so that is dramatic news. We'll get down for more information from half as he's got it, of course, for our friends at Epworth Eastern. Boundary throw-in takes place, though, on the 50 for the Dogs. Clay Smith tackled back over the line, footy in tow by Hanbury, and we'll have a throw-in. Faraday West Clock, home loan experts for the self-employed. That's faradaywest.com.au. 6 minutes gone in the opening term.
4-2 inside 50s. The Dogs have gone in more, but a little bit untidy.
I was going to say they actually haven't gone really directive with any of those, have they? They've gone wide, they've missed some easy targets.
There's Stringer, got out of a couple of tackles and breaks free. Got a handball away to Johannisen. What can JJ do? He puts it inside the 50. Roughead had to become a defender. He knocked it down. Coming through. Hanbury's being tied up in the tackle. They scream ball. They won't get it. No prior. And we're going to have a ball up inside the 50 for the Western Bulldogs.
Young Cordy there. Big tackle. You love that as a young man. He really hurt Hanbury there.
Good to see. Hanbury is sore. Hanbury was sore going into this match, I reckon.
Third up is Roughead. Got the tap, but it went straight to his direct opponent. Lloyd was there to take it from the handball from Tippett. Cruel bounce for Johannisen. Naismith has legged.
He stuck the foot out there. I'm not sure what JJ could do.
Yeah, there's nothing he could do except grab it. So it's.
Well, I don't think we have to worry too much about whether the Dogs are ready for this occasion. If you had to take a stat for Bronny's hit, it's been brutal.
Haven't they? They've blunted that scoring power.
Absolutely.
Naismith has already had 4 disposals, the big ruckman. Just found himself where the footy is at the moment.
Anderson's had his 6 as well for Jackling's jerky, so he started brilliantly well in the half-back line.
Kick lobs up onto the wing. It's fisted away by the Bulldogs' defence. McRae was able to eke out a handball. It was designed for Eastonwood. Xavier Richards got a handball in, so too Heaney. didn't really progress anywhere. Now the Dogs can bolt from the wing. The handball shed from Dalehouse to Hunter, but it's smothered by Naismith. Shut it down. There's no room to move. We didn't expect there would be in the opening quarter on the SEN Mornington and Rosebud Telstra stores scoreboard. We're changing the way you talk about Telstra. No score after 8 minutes.
Big Tommy Boyd's moved into the ruck here on Tippett.
What a contested game we've had so far. There is the throw in. Who can emerge with it? Bodies left and right. It's going to be Jones to come out brandishing the Sherrin. He got a handball away. McLean now in the midfield running through the circles. He kept it low for Rowan. He's got to gather on the bounce. Morris went at him. He played the ball and the man on its merits as Lloyd kicked it up inside the 50. What a mark taken by Jack. Courageous.
Typical Kieran Jack. He might be in trouble.
They're going up to Wood here. Wood, in my mind, did absolutely nothing wrong here.
Had no regard for his safety, Kieran Jack. That was courageous. Have a look at it.
That's all it was. It was just courageous, great football.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's
all it was.
I hope there's no 50 in this.
No.
He's in scoring. He's going to be. He's certainly shaken up, but really, that's a contest. That's a contest on a grand final day, the way it's been played for 8 minutes.
And the umpire's done very well here to make sure they didn't make that a 50. Well done.
And it'd be well received by the players too, this break, boys, because they have been frantic for 9 minutes. They haven't had a rest yet. And no side of Buddy for Epworth Eastern. They're still down in the rooms.
What was Kieran playing for first goal?
Not sure. Epworth Eastern's new renal dialysis unit, a new level of comfort built around you.
Deserves a goal for that courageous act. Kieran Jack. He's going to kick. 48 metres out. Directly in front. On its way. Kieran Jack. Miss to the right-hand side. SEN Mornington and Rosebud Telstra Store scoreboard changing the way you talk about Telstra. First score to Sydney as a point. Western Bulldogs yet to score.
Set shots so often set the tone in grand finals. Our commentary team knows that only too well as Boyd kicks into half-back and Tom Boyd, I just said in general, Moons, didn't want to mention in 2008 or anything, as Tom Boyd takes the mark. So the opening score to the Swans after nearly 9 minutes. Oh, dodgy old kick from Tom Boyd, shut down by Lloyd, who gives it in Heaney's direction. He went for the fly. He went for the glory. He got neither. He gave away the free. The advantage taken by Matthew Boyd. Kicks it to Toby McLean, who's got some interference then in the marking contest, and he will take the free at half-back.
And again, go back to the Hamling there. He knew Heaney,
50.
knew Heaney was coming. He actually backed in and took the hit. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, it was important that Boyd took that mark, dropping the chest mark early, and I reckon around the ground he is going to have an impact because we know that Tipper's a marking player, and they need this player Boyd on the kickoffs to be able to take those grabs. Very good.
Toby McLean, I think the 50 was against Tom Mitchell, goes short for McRae, gets there unimpeded, doesn't really get them any closer. He's a long left foot kick. We know he could plant this one almost to the square.
Well, if you got to do, he should have.
No, he tempered the kick and he tried to pick it on the 50 and failed.
Those kicks aren't for grand finals in the early stage of a grand final, Bossy, are they?
Well, that's their style, though. They like to go after it, and some blokes have a licence, and certainly he has that, and it can break open the play.
Parker to Heaney to Jones.
Buddy's back on, boys.
Okay, thank you, Half. He's just going to take the mark here on the wing. It's the Swans a point. The Dogs nothing after 11 minutes, Faraday West.
Gives the kick away, Franklin, and finds his man. Taken by Papley.
Looks like he's got a lip, though, Half.
Yeah, he'd have a jab in that for certain.
Right ankle, I reckon, boys.
Just inside the boundary line here, Papley. A little bit of contact between him and Boyd off the footy.
He's a bit fired up, buddy.
Papley, he bombs it. Inside the 50, and that's a terrific mark. Doubling back with a flight. Clay Smith. Good mark in defence. Out for Hunter. Runs the gauntlet. Spills the beans. Picked up. Kieran Jack. Got a little bit of room to move. Centres it to Parker. And Parker will go back and line up 45 out directly in front.
Getting a lot of clean ball now, the Swans.
Do you reckon the ground conditions have come into it? It's been a little bit slippery. Yeah, I reckon
always going to be.
They've underestimated the players a little bit, I reckon. A couple of them.
But I think it's that the shower this morning probably put that on top, so that should go with it.
There's serious heat in this game too, like to be able to hit those targets and to consistently do it. It's going to be tough today with this sort of heat on it.
Luke Parker, second set shot for Sydney. 48 metres out. On its way. And that one is a goal. Luke Parker kicks the first goal of the 2016 AFL Grand Final. and Sydney 117. Bulldogs no score. 12 minutes travelled first quarter.
And wasn't that an arm wrestle for 8-10 minutes? Just brilliant to watch. Bodies flying everywhere. As you said, Mick, the game has been played arc to arc very much for that game. Numbers around the ball, and the side that's sort of just started to get a little bit on top, and only just marginally, has been the Swans, and set up a couple of scoring opportunities.
Yeah, 5 in each time, and that's inside the front 50. But look, Sydney's kicked the ball 31 times, the Dogs 19. The Dogs are down at 54%, and that's hurting them.
Those numbers for Jack Link's Jerky. Jack Link's Meat Snacks, feed your wild side. Centre bounce, Sydney 117. Dogs yet to get on the board. It favours Boyd, who came over the top of Tippett, got the tap there, but that man Parker extracted as only he can. Half distance kick, Rowan in front of Johannesson. Nothing happened there. Dalhouse flashed in with a handball, picking under all sorts of duress. The Swans are getting numbers to the footy now. Kennedy dives on top, but the Dogs able to match. And umpire Scott Jeffries calls for a bounce.
Franklin's certainly playing closer to goal than what he has over recent weeks, and I think that's to put a lot of pressure on the Western Bulldogs defence.
Hamling about a metre in front of him as the ball's tossed up at centre half forward for the Swans. There's some interference, non-controlling. Umpire spotted something.
It's an interesting starting point from Hamling. He's mentioned Hutto. He's starting a metre in front of Buddy.
It's Parker who kicks it to Franklin. He's got two to contend with, and he beats them both. Takes the juggling mark, controlled the Sharon, knew he wasn't going to take it cleanly, a little bit damp, and a little juggler, which he's taken in the pocket now. Is he too close to goal here,
Hamling was starting off because he doesn't want to get into a wrestle with Buddy, so he's trying to come off and jump.
Did you reckon he pushed him there?
But as Biggs came back, there was a bit of a push from Buddy.
Yeah.
Could have gone the other way, but in the end, big contested mark.
45-degree angle. Normally doesn't favour a left footer. We know Buddy's not a normal left footer. Has it got enough? No, it didn't have enough distance for that shape. He couldn't work his shape. He was only 15 to 20 metres out, and he misses to the left of the post. And Sydney 1-2-8 have done all the scoring. The Dogs yet to score after 14 minutes this opening term for Etihad Stadium, only in Medallion Club.
As Johannesson brings it into play, Laidler got there with a big spoil towards the boundary line. It goes, and the footy is out. And we're going to have a throw in 50 metres around from Sydney's goal.
The sides are both they're so disciplined, aren't they? If they don't look like marking, that ball gets punched 15-20 metres away, then it becomes a ground ball. Outstanding discipline by both sides.
Ball thrown back into play. Who can take it? Dalhouse juggling, couldn't control it, and then Pickens being tied up in the tackle by Kennedy, and the umpire will ball it up again. Scott
Jeffries, the umpire, he's one of the better umpires.
1-2-8 Sydney, Western Bulldogs hit the score.
Matt Stevick and Simon Meredith, the other two officiating this afternoon.
And there's been a whistle there, a push and a free kick that's going the way of the Western Bulldogs. So the Doggies take it from half back, and they flare it out wide. Picken, handball away to Dalhouse, who goes up to McLean. He takes it a kick and a half out from goal. So McLean waiting for an option. Now he's being given a hurry up. So he kept it low percentage kick. Mills got back there and took the easy mark in the end, doubling back.
Kicking inside 50 is really hurting him, isn't it?
Well, shallow entry.
Sometimes with finals footy, half and grand finals, you've just got to back yourself and go one-on-one, kick it high and long sometimes.
And they had one-on-ones down there.
Outstanding mark from Rowan on the way out after Rampy kicked it out wide. He was given a little bit of treatment out there by Morris. The umpire lets it pass. Gary Rowan kicks to the wing. Xavier Richards playing in front of Biggs, can't take the mark. Flashing through was Papley, got a handball away. Hewitt was able to ride the tackle, shrug the shoulders and kick it on the bounce inside 50. Buddy comes out, capsizes, goes to ground. Caleb Daniel taps it away from the dangerous Kennedy. Pick and handballs, bounce handball, but it was good enough. Got it to Hamling, who jams it on the boot and kicks it back out towards the wing. Bouncing away from Kieran Jack and over the chalk. Just forward of the wing for the Sydney Swans, who look a bit ominous, it has to be said. Yep. Mick and Moons for advice on injury lawyers, the experts in injury law now open in Melton.
Well, they've got to hold out now. This next 5 minutes could be a telling factor because Sydney are really dominating the football and the Dogs can't get inside their front 50.
Inside 50, 7-5 for Jack Link's Jerky, feed your wild side.
They're certainly in control at the moment, the Sydney Swans. Ball back into play. Kennedy standing up in the tackle, trying to get the handball away. Ball comes out. It's going to be Hanbury, partially smothered. Good work, Dalhouse. Back to Boyd. Matty Boyd kicks it back to the wing. And good work, Cordy just knocked it down. McLean got the handball away. He'll get the handball back as they just flick it around on the outer side wing. Hunter now goes to the centering kick, but straight to Kennedy.
They're doing the flicks, but they're rushing their kicks.
Well, right now there's 4 Bulldogs players who have not touched the ball, and what is it? Another 5 only touched it once, so they're not really getting their hands on it at all.
Xavier Richards only just got that kick away. Nice spoil that time. by Matty Boyd. Went crawling after it. Numbers arrived. Biggs picks it up for the doggies and just chips it short, and Dixon has got the football still, a kick and a half out from goal.
So can they find a path to goal? Again, the hesitation on the kick. He's going to toss it up. McLean can fly from the back. He's a leaper. He stood his ground instead. Clay Smith in amongst them. McLean digs the handball out. Clay Smith got a half kick. Here's Zane Cordy, went for the spectacular, and he had Hunter, and he has burnt him alive and kicked it out on the full.
It's terribly, terribly selfish.
It was just a young kid caught up in the moment. Did not see him at all.
He had to have seen him.
Yeah, I know, but that's just a really bad decision. But what I will say is finally an entry. Just go long.
Yep.
Grand finals, just expect a contest. You're not always going to get the perfect inside 50.
They win it back, the Dogs. Morris, he gives it off to Biggs, who goes, and Dalhouse takes the mark just inside the 50.
Well, they get the numbers back, Sydney. They're now outnumbered them with an extra 3 that I can count. So
he hasn't got
it's
the
too late.
down
That's right. So he's got to peel this off to Woods in a good position to mark this if he takes the short kick.
So Lukey Dalhouse won't get the trip, the boys reckon. So let's see what he can do here. He's just going to have to put it up and hope for the big mark. He does just that. He wants the big specky. And the big ruckman for Sydney, Naismith.
Well, Roughhead's sitting 45 metres away. He had to go down there. If he's the ruckman right now, he needed to be down there on the line. He needed to know that Dalhouse wasn't going to make that.
There's no team that does that better in the competition. Be able to ground the other players so the other one person can fire.
Grundy goes out wide, and Easton Wood pretty happy in the end to see it go over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw in. 1-2-8 Sydney. Bulldogs are yet to score. Nearly 19 gone first quarter. This quarter for Etihad Stadium.
Yeah, it's definitely the way they're bringing the football in. They're bringing it so slow, and Sydney is slowing the ball up between the centre square and that 50-metre line.
Malthouse, Voss and Mooney with you today. Throw in, went down to Dunkley, got a hurried kick inside, and once again, Swans on the job. Grundy takes the relieving mark. So at least they're getting some looks. They haven't worked out how to do it yet, but that'll help. That's a fantastic tackle. A brilliant tackle laid on Callum Mills.
Maybe that's Mills.
Came from Cordy.
Not being game ready, just a little bit slow with the ball, but geez, Cordy was quick to react.
Well, he owes this one.
He can make it up here.
Well, yeah, and everything's covered, so he technically has to have a shot from. He can't just lob it in the goal square. This is kickable.
Good to see Roughhead learnt. He's down there in the goal square for this one.
From behind the boundary, walks on through the chalk and kicks an unlikely goal.
Get around him, Mick.
Zane Cordy has kicked the Bulldogs first of the afternoon, and they are back within 2 points in the grand final after 20 minutes in 2016, and that, my friend, is a Chisholm game and goal of the day.
Great goal.
While we get the take a breath too, just around stoppages, we were talking about, well, do they leave it one-on-one? Certainly the Bulldogs are playing 6 ahead of the ball, but Sydney are actually choosing to bring up another player around the ball to give them the numbers, and that's sort of keeping them at least on one side of the field. So even when they flick it, they're not really getting through the defence. So it's just giving Sydney a bit of time to set up behind the ball. And also at least giving Sydney a chance to be able to win that contested number.
But it is, so that's so predictable. But what it's doing though, Bossy, is that not allowing that 7-goal stream that they had against Geelong, and then the Dogs on the other side of the coin can bring it back.
Doggies on the board. Here's McLean. Right with him is Kennedy, and he's been shut down. Can't go anywhere. And the umpire's going to come in and ball it up forward of the middle, favouring the Swans. 1-2-8 Sydney, 1 straight 6 Bulldogs.
So you see Hansen just sitting off the back of the stoppage on that Sydney player who's gone up, and they're just trying to get that drop in front of Franklin.
Here's Johannesson, been busy early. It was tackled, knocked out of his hands, the umpire said. Picked up by McLean. Got it away to Kennedy, who crafts a kick up inside the 50. Easton Wood, big spoil.
Came from 30 metres away.
Boyd got the handball. Johannesson, Dalhouse, as they click into action, the Doggies. Kick along the wing. It was a skimming ball. Free kick.
Downfield.
Costly because it would have been a turnover.
Geez, Easton Wood on that attack there. He came from 30 metres away off his opponent to hit that contest.
Cordy short to Liberatore, decides on the big grand switch. It hangs in the air a long time. Heaney hit it off the hands though. Hunter, low ball inside 50. Tory Dixon. And listen to the Dogs fans.
Well, this is where you're really starting to see the Dogs come alive now, because they're finally getting a quick movement
in,
and these better decisions going inside 50. When they needed to kick it long the last time, they did. They went to the contest. This time they had a nice lead-up target. They hit the target.
And the pressure will be on this kid because he missed 3 straight last week. So this will be a...
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
He was a bit better last week.
Well, I missed the last one.
Here's Tory. Didn't matter. Here's Tory from just on the paint of the 50. As good as directly in front. It's on its way. It's a great strike. And the Bulldogs are in front in the 2016 Grand Final. Tory Dixon joins Zane Cordy on the goal-kicking sheet. Luke Parker kicked the first for the Swans. It's 2 straight 12 the Dogs, 1-2-8 the Swans. 22.5 minutes gone. SEN, Mornington and Rosebud, Telstra Stores scoreboard.
A couple of big efforts by Easton Wood too, boys. That big fist, defensive 50 then was under that hanging ball, the cross ball from Tom Liberatore, but got it for because he knew Lockie Hunter was there, and that ball came into Dixon off the back of Hunter's boot. So brilliant from the skipper.
Johannesson 8, Boyd and Dalhouse 7, 6 to Picken, McRae, 5 to McLean and Smith, 7 for Lloyd, 6 for Parker and Kennedy, 5 for Naismith and Grundy. That's all for Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side with their meat snacks.
The Bulldogs have found their groove. They lead by 4 points, and we're back in the middle. Ruffin able to win it down. Liberatore got the handball away. Bonampelli trying to slap it down to Dalhouse. Desperately got it out. And is there a free kick? No. In there, Parker reaching for it. Hanbury in for the hard footy as well. And Bonampelli, the umpire will let play go and eventually will ball it up.
The Bont, 3 disposals so far.
Caleb Daniel still yet to touch the ball, even though he's on the bench at the moment, but still yet to touch the ball.
It's been a quiet start of the last few weeks.
Kieran Jack got it out to Kennedy, got some fresh air now, and got the kick away and tip it. Takes the mark just inside the centre square. Half
Buddy one-on-one here. This is the
looks
big
up.
contest.
That's where he goes. He wants Franklin. Hamlin played it well. Knocked it towards the boundary line. He wants that boundary line still in play. Game on here for Sydney. Jones takes it. Centering kick. Wanting Rowan. Papley does the roving and kicks it round. Free kick coming back. Bulldogs.
Yeah, all free kick every day of the week. He dragged him off the ball, but interesting about Buddy there. He couldn't beat him on that one-on-one.
I'm telling you, that was just a great contest for Hamling to win. He would have been nervous, one-on-one, big Buddy.
He's looking for body, Moon, straight away, but he's not confident to jump at the footy at the moment.
Well, I think he's looking for body because he knows he can out-muscle him, but Hamling, that's a great confidence booster.
Quick handoff to Johannesson. He kicks to half-back. Picken decides to keep it in and then just crept over the line. Just thrown it half forward. It's 2 straight 12 the Bulldogs, 1-2-8 Sydney, 24 gone.
Mick, you reckon that Franklin's just
his movement?
Yeah, couldn't go lateral. Couldn't turn,
Boundary throw in front of us in the members stand. Kennedy was terrific, but his handball was shut down. Clay Smith versus Zach Jones. Neither could take the ball cleanly. They've gained about 35 metres, and that satisfies the many Bulldogs fans that have packed the MCG on footy's biggest day. This opening quarter for Etihad, Faraday West Clock, home loan experts for the self-employed. FaradayWest.com.au, 25 minutes gone. It's just under 2 minutes remaining as McRae gets the lightning handball and then gets it back from Picken there on the field. 80 metres out, low ball stringer. Haven't really seen him much yet. Rampy had him pretty well covered. Ball went to ground. Rampy applies the pressure. Liberatore digs it out. Picken at the intersection of the 50 and up and under. Doesn't gain any territory at all. Roughhead fists it away. The Swans try and get some numbers there. Kieran Jack got the round to the kitchen. Off to Gary Rowan. Charges away. Parker didn't get the quick release handball. Boyd took it from the Morris tackle. He rushed the kick. Laidler tries to slap it down and get it to his own advantage and can send Papley on his way, but poor kick on the exit, and the Dogs live to fight another day through Easton Wood.
He collects well, Easton Wood. Handball a bit dodgy, and then Dixon's been tied up in the tackle, and the umpire will have it out there on the wing.
Geez, their pressure though, their defence, they're coming right up. As soon as they're grabbing the ball, Parker just bang.
Straight into
great hit.
Sydney now not bringing that ball out cleanly like they did in the first 5 or 6 minutes.
Here's Clay Smith. He's put that one straight out on the full, so it will be a Sydney ball out there at half back. And we've got just over a minute left to play in this opening quarter with the Doggies leading by 4 points.
We'll analyse all the key matchups too, Matty, for Toyota Material Handling at quarter time. Australia's first choice for new and used Toyota forklifts.
Zach Heaney with the kick, and gee, I think that's out in the full. It is. Free kick, Bulldogs.
Boys, we talk about contested possessions. The Dogs are +8. The clearances are even at the moment.
Well, that's big, isn't it? +8 at this stage of the game.
for Jack Links.
The Bonts Bontempelli kicks it, and Roughhead, he was sort of thrown into that marking contest and took it with glee, and then kicks a big bomb. There's no one back there for the Western Bulldogs, which really bombed away.
There's the rush of blood grand finals can do to you, Vossi.
Rampy gets it to Mills, and Mills is clearing, comes out wide, good mark, taken by McGlynn, half-back.
He decides to press on, rolls with it and kicks it for Kieran Jack. Had to let it bounce, a bit uncomfortable. Slight fumble. Here's Buddy. Presented, the kick not great. It bounced, tried to twist and duck inside Hamling, having none of it. Close to holding the ball, but just crept over the boundary line. Another major win for Joel Hamling.
There's something about that step, though. He doesn't look quite right, Buddy, but you're right, Hutto. Those two last contests for Hamling, he's got to walk away thinking this is pretty good at the minute.
Last 20 seconds, Dogs hanging on to a 4-point lead, throwing 40 metres out from Sydney's goal. Hanbury more than a match by Morris, got it off to Johannesson, who wobbles it on the boot. Perfect kick for the occasion. Bounces just inside. Buddy pleads for deliberate. Fell on deaf ears and we'll have a throw in. 7 seconds remaining.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't make a difference.
I reckon he would have paid
I'm not 100% sure. Well, not in the grand final, you don't move.
I would have hoped not, but I reckon he might have.
Chance for a quick clearance. Umpire throws it into play. Boyd wins it down for the Doggies. Stringer couldn't take it cleanly. Here's Kennedy going to get a look at it. There's the siren. And the opening quarter is done and dusted. And it's the Doggies who will take the lead at quarter time by 4 points. 2 straight 12. Sydney 1-2-8.
So a lot of energy expended in the opening term. What can you see there, Moose?
Buddy's running straight over to the bench again. Half, can you see that?
Here he comes.
I can, mate. I can. He'll be going back downstairs, I reckon.
Yeah, a few more repairs for Buddy. That's one of the boys.
Rowan's only had the one kick. Rampy, they love him running into the back one, only one kick. So the Dogs have achieved what they want to do, is to make sure it will become an absolute fight early without a big score, and they've achieved that.
Get the latest on Buddy in just a moment with Harp, but into the second term.
4 points, the Bulldogs lead, and we're underway in the second quarter. Roughhead goes chasing after that football. Kennedy picks it up. He's handball. Biggs attack the footy and then followed up with a tackle. Good work, Clay Smith, tackled by Mitchell. Hard footy to start things as they all throw their body and try to win it. Stringer had it momentarily. Liberatore confronted, ripped out of his arms, and they all pile on top, and the umpire will come in and pull it up.
20 metres, and there would have been 40 tackles.
Yeah, 6 real body on body. I'm noticing Stringer playing a bit closer to the where the ball is now. I think he needs to get involved in the game.
He's got Mills on him at the moment. I'd like to see him take Mills a bit deeper and put pressure, real pressure on him.
Here's Libert half forward. McRae was able to dig it up. Put the handball away to Picken. Composed as he goes inside the 50. Ground level. Good work by Smith. Rampy. What's he going to do? He was almost claimed, but he got the kick away and sets Mitchell on his way. He just scooped this up. Big pressure from Morris coming on Heaney. Good work, but Jones gets there. Numbers with Sydney and gives the handball away to Heaney.
And they share the love off halfback. Mitchell some hesitation before he kicks, and he got a little shove and it impacted on the kick.
Great chase by Lockie Hunter, but Dale Morris has started the game so well.
Speedy Gonzalez.
So well.
His speed at closing down was outstanding.
Reading the plays and excellent.
Johannesson took the mark and dumps the kick at half forward. Lloyd tried to flash through, but he was tackled by Dunkley. Clay Smith got a wild handball, and it goes over the line and out of bounds. This second term brought to you by Melbourne Star Observation Wheel. Use the code SEN at melbournestar.com for 25% off and a free beer. Throw in with the margin at 4 points. Roughhead slaps it down. Liberatore starting to really win the ball at the coalface. His handball, Caleb Daniel had it, and then they got him immediately. And he's tackled into the MCG turf on the 50.
Again, Vossi, we're seeing Stringer and Mills. He's trying to push him up into the content. Get Boyd, push him up, look, take him deep.
I don't know whether that works with him.
But Mills will panic with Stringer, I think, in one-on-one.
But I don't think he'll go back with him, Moons. He may well come up with him.
Here's Bontempelli, bit of fancy footwork. He got the kick away, goes to the forward pocket. Boyd! Tom Boyd takes the mark just inside the field of play in the forward pocket.
Does the world of difference to your midfielders when you see a big fella take a big contested mark, Vossi, doesn't it? You just know you can just go there.
Just plays in front,
left foot and right foot
things well.
So he's got that room to move there.
Is he going to go left foot? Yes, he is.
He goes around the body, and that's a goal! That is a goal for Tom Boyd, and that will do him the world of confidence. Western Bulldogs 3 straight 18. And Sydney are 1-2-8, 18-8, the margin at 10. That was a Chisholm game and goal of the day.
And a remarkable goal it was too.
unbelievable skills. I mean, do the simple things well, and he did it by taking front, but then also taking the percentage option at the same time. So really well done.
Because it wasn't a great ball going in, was it?
No, it was
you had to make it.
It was a dirty ball going in, and they still have. Again, I guess the choice for the Swans at the moment is that they're down by clearances by +5. That number sitting around clearances at the moment isn't doing much for them.
Bud is back out there though, so they've got a chance if the ball goes in forward.
Liberatore already with 3 disposals this quarter. He's starting to have an influence in this game. Centre bounce as he versus Hanbury. They both hankering to get it out, and Hanbury got the wild handball, went to Hunter, who returned the favour straight back to Kennedy. He can't get clear, and he is gone. Should have been holding the ball, not paid. It's back in dispute again on the wing. Bontempelli tries to rip it away, can't do that. Now they close him out, and it'll be a ball up.
I think the umpire was blindsided
Must have
over the side,
blindsided.
because I don't know how he didn't pay that holding the ball on Kennedy.
Just shorten the word.
I went outside down for lunch. He's still at it.
Comes to Rowan, and then Pickham was able to rip it away from he. Look at Heaney flash through the pack and got out the back to Zach Jones. Low ball into the 50. Pretty well placed for Kieran Jack. Now Hanbury's powered on to give him another option, but he's close enough to score himself, and eventually decides not to roll the dice. He was going to just pop it up for Tippett, but Fletcher Roberts was by his side. So Kieran Jack, who missed an early shot for goal from a similar position at the other end of the ground, really needs to make this one count right now. Skippity skip from Kieran Jack, 40 metres, he's up and under it, and it's drifted across to the left. And Sydney 1-3-9. They have pretty much ground to a halt right now after kicking the first goal of the game. The Dogs 3 straight 18 on the Arctic Melbourne scoreboard, the healthier way to heat your home.
He always finds himself at that 35-40 metre mark out, Kieran Jack. He has a lot of shots.
Oh, many boys. Kick's been smothered by Gary Rowan. Go and clean the mess up. He wants to concede.
Got him high.
And got him high. Lucky for Boyd. He was in a world of trouble.
Matty Boyd was liable to do this from time to time too. His decision making is a little bit slow.
He would have been thankful to feel that high contact, Matty Boyd, then.
This one's going long. Yeah,
he sends that one down the line. Ruffhead is there. Easton Wood as well. Hanbury at ground level. Got the handball away to Kennedy. Now to Jack. And now to Nick Smith. He's going for goal. And he puts that one through. Nick Smith. A much needed goal for Sydney.
We've got a game, boys, now.
Wow. That just the hands in close there. I mean, if we had to put a net over the number of players there was pure density.
It's almost ridiculous, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. But somehow Sydney were able to extricate that with their handball. And Smith, who's the half back, who was able to run onto the ball, break the 50, and then finish really well. So this is going to be a numbers game. And how you handle the heat inside
and taking every opportunity.
Yes.
Good time to kick your first goal for the year, boys.
They all got excited for him too.
It was just to his left side. It was perfectly placed. A goal each in this second term for the Melbourne Star observation wheel. Use the code SEN at melbournestar.com for 25% off and a free beer. Back to 3-point margin. Centre bounce is perfect. Boyd got the tap down. Straight to Dunkley, but the Swans were waiting for that. Trying to back out with a footy was Dalehouse. McLean was in there as well, and Tippett had a piece of it. And it was a stalemate. The umpire blew the whistle, throws it up straight away. Tap down to Kieran Jack, was clever from Tippett. Off to Mitchell. Are they getting into their groove now? No. There's a good defensive mark taken by Fletcher Roberts at centre half back. So Roberts, with the Dogs leading by 3 points, goes this way and then decides to go to the outer side. Bit of a meandering kick. Boyd just came drifting over the pack. Had the spillage with Zane Cordy. Needed to get the hands working quickly. Liberatore will almost call it a throw. It went straight to Zach Jones, who kicks to half forward. Easton Wood couldn't get there. Richards flew, didn't mark. Biggs was able to rip it off the pack and gave it to Morris. Links up with Tom Boyd looking for another handball, and he finds a willing recipient in Easton Wood, who goes short and gets Josh Dunkley still behind the wing on that southern side as the Dogs try and get things together. He goes short to Caleb Daniel.
He'd be happy.
Who takes the mark.
His first touch.
Yep, little man with the helmet. He plays on and he just chips it short. Hunter has got the football and he puts it up inside the 50 for the Doggies. Dixon went for the big fly but didn't get anywhere near it in the finish. Dalhouse ground level. Clay Smith trying to emerge with it. He was handcuffed well, and the umpire's going to come in and ball it up 35 metres out for the Dogs' goal.
Yeah, I think if Sydney are in doubt, they're going to get Franklin up the ground regardless of his ankle to see if he can generate a bit of football, because right now The Dogs are just holding out.
There's Heaney, was able to clear it out towards the boundary line. He goes. Richards leading in the race. Obliging bounce as well, so he paces away. He takes a bounce and then he kicks it up inside the 50. Races on to get there. Biggs leading in that race. He collects. He composes himself. He goes back to Matty Boyd, who takes it deep in defence for the Dogs.
Faraday West clock now has reached 8 minutes in this second term. It was pretty well played by the Dogs. Boyd comes away, kicks it to the wing. Good weight on the kick. And the mark is taken strongly by Fletcher Roberts, still at half back for the Bulldogs. Working that southern side up to the wing. That's a bit of a, well, it's well weighted kick, and it finds Easton Wood. Now you'd almost call it the wing with the Bulldogs. Three straight 18. Sydney 2-3-15. Some hesitation. Time's up. Wood drives in the Tom Boyd direction. Tippett just taps it down cleverly to Heaney, who stretches the handball back to Rampy in position. Had to handball, a bit uncomfortable for Kennedy. Did the same to Mitchell, and they start to work that southern side with some effect. Heaney came and got it, but they missed the handball, and Dalhouse can profit. Sends it up into the 50, hoping more than anything. Oh, what a mark to Grundy, although it wasn't paid. It comes up the pack to Dixon, and Dixon kicks the goal. The fine line between pleasure and pain on display in the second term at the MCG. It was almost a super mark to Grundy, and he is arguing his case, but the spillage went the way of Tory Dixon, and he did the rest, and that is a Chisholm game and goal of the day. Four straight 24 plays 2-3-15.
Kevin Swarehouse replay. Was it a mark? Because it was a great contest from Clay Smith, completely outsized, out-muscled. At least gave a contest to make sure that, in this case, the ball came to ground. Here we go to Kevin Swarehouse replay.
No.
Probably didn't control it long enough.
Although,
was he interfered with that?
Well, I thought he had both arms around him, so that's automatically a free kick, isn't it? So I reckon the Dogs got away with one there.
Dogs open up a 9-point lead. We're back in the middle. Not a great bounce. Favours Tippett, who knocked it down. Bulldogs now are at his feet. Dalhouse got a high ball. Zane Cordy able to crash the pack. Dunkley ends up with the football. Puts it inside the 50. It is a wide ball. Nick Smith got there. Busted a gut and took the mark. At half back for the Swans.
Yeah, very strong player. Very reliable player, Smith.
Goes back for Grundy. Back in the back pocket. They're going to switch the play. Off to Rampy. He'll look to this member side. He'll handball over the top to Mills. And his handball charged down by Hunter. Tunnel ball. Extraordinary. Got it away. Liberatore. Bouncing towards goal. And Lloyd got there at the death and rushed it through. Almost one of the great grand final goals.
Oh, it's pretty much a throw.
But Lockie Hunter came off his man, Jones, to make sure that he intercepted that ball. Well done.
Swans quickly moving it out, but not for long. Mitchell's kick shut down by Matthew Boyd. Sends it down the line to McRae. You can hear the Dogs fans starting to roar. Dunkley takes the mark. Roughhead is deep. He's the big tall target. He's got Grundy for company. Dixon's down there as well. Hunter maybe picking as a wild card to fly. He puts his faith in Roughhead. Rampy got there first. Off the pack. Picken grabbed the footy. Shared it with Hunter. Back it went to Picken. He's got it lined up. Oh, what a player. What a player is Liam Picken. He's kicked the goal from the angle in the pocket. And the Bulldogs fans are starting to think about it. They lead by 16 at the 11-minute mark of the second term. They've gone bang and they've gone bang again. 5-1-31 the Dogs, 2-3-15 the Sydney Swans. 11 and a half minutes gone.
Well, Mick, we spoke about the Bulldogs' manic pressure in their forward half.
That's it.
And now, because of that, Sydney just cannot get that ball out.
No, can't get it out. And you had Picken created the tackle on the outer wing when Sydney were out on the last goal that went inside 50, and now he's the beneficiary. So he's not only just doing it on the attacking side of the ball, but he's also having an influence when he needs to, when Sydney have it.
Lockie Hunter had a quiet first quarter, but he's really getting involved this second term.
What a lead this is. 16 points, confidence high for the Western Bulldogs.
Picking 4 this quarter, Liberatore 6.
Knocking it down that time was Roughhead. Naismith in there, got
Look
the
at the tackling
handball away.
pressure.
It is extraordinary. Parker, he's been wrapped up, still got the handball away. Naismith, big ruckman, just got it onto the boot, and he blasted it up inside the 50. Where's Buddy Hamlin? Just played it down to ground level. Picked up by Hanbury. He gives it to Hewitt. He's outside the 50. Got to be quick with the kick, and Mitchell takes it. Hamlin just settle things down and compose himself, and the mark is just inside the 50.
And that's where they get a lot of marks, Sydney, just inside 50. We see Jack twice this
Well, so midfield,
game.
they just push into there and they just wheel around and just hit that little 25
and the Dogs
metre
sort
cut.
of protect from 45, so relying on a 50-metre kick.
Tommy Mitchell coming in. And kicking from just outside the 50, it's a good strike. It's a terrific goal. A goal to Tom Mitchell, and the margin back to 10. Sydney to 3-3-21. The Western Bulldogs 5-1-31.
Alistair Clarkson will be delighted in that ability to kick a long goal.
That's a great goal.
It is a great goal. When the opposition have the run.
That's it, over the fence from on 50. So it's but that's the way the Sydney have structured it. They've structured up, make sure players are keep the Western Bulldogs defence honest. They stand in front, 50, let's say 45 metres out, and dare you to come to them.
Well, they know they're always going to go back to Franklin, so they're always going to go support that contest back a little bit deeper. So there are opportunities sitting 30 to 50 out from goal.
Absolutely.
SEN Arctic Melbourne scoreboard, the healthier way to heat your home. It's back to 10 points, 5-1-31 to 3-3-21. Sun shining at the MCG. Roughhead got the tap. Bontempelli tried to close down Naismith. Ball up for grabs. Roughhead sprawled all over the turf, slapped it 5 metres the Bulldogs' way, but it's going to go no further than that. The sheer weight of numbers telling the tale, and we'll have another ball up.
It's been very well refereed or umpired, really, when you have a look at they're making sure it's a grand final game without interference.
Roughhead the tap. Bontempelli had a piece of it, but no more than that. Dalhouse put his body on the line, right into the thick of it.
What he does well, guys, he slides into those contests without giving any of the free kicks away, but he gathers the ball as he's doing it, and he's a contested ball beast for someone so tiny.
Still the Dogs by 10 as Roughhead volleyed it down. Zach Jones wore one and wobbled at the half forward, out in front of Tippett and Fletcher Roberts, who took the ball. Papley stripped him. Easton Wood stayed afloat and stayed in the contest, and there's a free kick.
Paid for holding
the man.
He probably did. It was line ball.
Just momentarily, wasn't it, for Papley, who can send it short to Franklin, low percentage, because Buddy's got it on the bounce, and he just tried to barrel through Easton Wood. A wild handball. Look at the tackle from Hanbury on Dunkley, lined him up and smashed him into the ground.
I love that from Buddy. Just, if he got caught holding the ball, so be it, but he was going to try and run over the top of Wood trying to do that. That was great.
SEN Arctic Melbourne scoreboard. It's 31 the Dogs, 21 the Swans.
There's the ball up. Roughhead wins it down. Taken by Jack. Parker got a little kick away, and Rowan takes the mark play in front.
So there's been a bit of momentum energy switch.
Play on. It was touched, and he goes for goal, and he puts it through anyway. That's a goal for Gary Rowan.
Touched off the boot, was it?
Well, and everyone stopped for 3 or 4 seconds.
Wouldn't you just take the ball as an umpire? I mean, that's everyone has stopped, and the players stopped. They've allowed him to walk through, 5 or 6 metres, and then call play. I know they'll call him play on. I think the thing to do there is to take the ball and bounce the ball.
Yes. He's taken the mark effectively, so I think he's got right away. He's got possession of the ball, so he should be able to finish the disposal, I guess.
Yeah, I would have walked the other way.
I'll tell you what it is, Mick, though, is it is about playing in front today as a forward, because there is not a lot of clean balls coming out of the congested areas. There's a lot of quick kicking. So if you're a forward that wants to come forward and anticipate that quick kick, you'll get a few rewards.
Great point from triple premiership skipper Michael Voss, part of the 11-16 SEN commentary this afternoon. The Swans with a mini roll. Jack got the clearance, takes them to centre half forward. Biggs tried to contain Papley, couldn't. Got the handball to Kennedy, heaves it in Buddy's direction. He's from behind. There you go. It was a wobbly kick in, and Hamling on the job takes the mark. Little dump off to Johannesson, who spreads it wide. Jones has got an opportunity here against Dixon. Dixon got him where he wanted and was able to claim the footy and then wobble the left foot along the line. No good. Rampy takes the mark. He has got Stringer's measure at the moment.
You've got to put yourself in the play on that one. You've got to put your body on the line on that one.
Rampy winds up. Long to Buddy, tried to reach over the pack. Roughhead grabbed it, and then they team up and shut him down quite smartly. Ball allowed to play on. Kennedy's kick, ricochet, top of the square, and Papley, who's everywhere at the moment, got a wobbly one that goes over the boundary line and out of bounds in the forward pocket. It's 3 goals each for the quarter.
Players have not adjusted to the umpires not blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
They are not going to call the jiggy touch with free kicks. They've got to complete the play.
Ball back into play. Hewitt wrapped up in the tackle and certainly wrestled back the momentum, Sydney. After they were down by 16 points, they trailed by just 4. Certainly momentum energy, change of momentum energy, offering their best rate first every time. Ball up. H-Smith tries to win it down again. In there is Mitchell, emerging with it, Heaney. Got the handball away to Franklin. Franklin's been confronted. Handball off to Jack. Off a step, Kennedy. Kennedy goes for goal, and he snuck it in. Goal for the Swans. They flicked it around by hand, and Kennedy finished the job. And with that, Sydney take the lead by 2.
And their guns have lifted this quarter. Jack 8, Kennedy 7, Mitchell and Hanbury 6 each, Heaney 6. Chisholm and Gaiman goal of the day, that one. But he's still not, he's not getting the handballs
first
off
option. He's trying to do a little bit more than what he should. He's charging at players. I know that's a great statement for a player to make, but that first option you want to see, he had Kennedy already wrapping around in front of him. He chose to be able to take on the tackler when the first option was better. So maybe just doing a little bit more than what he should.
You talk about the stars stepping up there for Sydney, but look at Bontempelli, only the 1 touch for the quarter, and Stringer, he's only had 1 touch for the game, Jake. He seriously needs to somehow find a way to put himself in the game.
Swans are back in front on 11-16 SEN. They've kicked 3 goals quick smart. Kennedy somehow found a way to get it out again to Naismith and off to Mitchell. Rush the ball onto the boot. He's going to deposit into Tippett and Franklin's direction. They can't mark on the 40. It comes to the 50 as it bobbles around. Smith lost it, taken by Parker, off to Rowan. And his kick is going to be marked quite comfortably by Hamling, who'd fallen off the back of the pack and gave it off to Johannison, who can bounce, but he's got nowhere to go. He pinned up against that defensive 50, kicked as long as he could, was hoping someone would get to the fall of the ball. They didn't. Grundy was able to contain it and go short to Mitchell, getting plenty of the ball. Dabs the pass to Heaney, kicking a bit out from goal. Isaac, no long targets yet. Parker calls for a 35 out. Heaney goes in his direction. It's set up for Luke Parker. He tried to leap and mark no interference. Kennedy's done it again. He's done it again, Kennedy. He took the ball, got it onto the boot in no time at all, and the Sydney Swans have stunned the Dogs. They've kicked 4 goals in 6 minutes, and the Dogs are at heel for the moment. 6-3-39 the Swans, 5-1-31 the Dogs. Incredible play by Josh Kennedy.
And Mick, if you're sitting in the coach's box, I mean, Kennedy is heating up. Oh, I'm not heating up, he is hot. Yeah. Do you just go to a little message to one of the Bulldogs midfielders and just say, look, just pay a little bit of attention to this bloke for a little while, just to quell him at least for 5 minutes?
Well, they're going to have to restructure to do that because the players in there don't do it. So whether you sacrifice Pickett...
Well, Bontempelli's only got 1 at the moment.
Yeah, but he's not good at that.
He may be the chance he gets that match up.
Pickett is good at it.
Yeah.
Margin 8, sun shining at the MCG on grand final day. Sun shining for Sydney. Hanbury got the handball out. And good work, Boyd. Steadfast. Took the football. Picking. Johannison loves to run. Takes a bounce. Thought about a second. Kicked the half forward and straight to Grundy. So Grundy takes the mark and shuts things down at half back. Comes back to Hanbury. We take a breath. Hanbury inside defensive 50 with the Swans leading by 8 points. Goes out wide. It was an ordinary kick. Papley.
McRae, 1 arm.
McRae just you're right there, Mersey. You might get on the end of one here. McRae now gives the handball away to Stringer, and Stringer now kicks it high and really just blasts it away, and it's out on the full as a result. And it's a Sydney ball in their back pocket with the Swans leading by 8 points and with all the momentum.
Yeah, he kicked that more in the middle of the ball. There's nothing wrong with the attempt to pull that ball back in front of goal, which is poorly executed, but he needs to get in the game, Jake Stringer. The only way to get him in the game is bring him up the ground and may pay a price for his fitness.
McVeigh just 3 disposals, but he lands that one in the hands of Kurt Tippett, who marks and shares it with Hanbury. A further handball to Papley, who drives them forward up towards the 50, or not quite that far. It's fallen short, and Biggs, the former Swan, takes the mark for the Bulldogs. Key matchups for Toyota Material Handling, of course. Australia's first choice for new and used Toyota forklifts as they work the ball across half back, but being forced closer to their defensive goal.
Sydney have done so well. Everything's 1-on-1 even on this side.
Oh, Zach Jones got over the top. Has he given away a free? He did for a hand on the shoulder advantage. Not going to be paid. It's going Bontempelli's way at half back. This quarter for the Melbourne Star observation wheel, Bontempelli. And he observed the man in the centre, and that's Tom Liberatore, who's been one of the Dogs' best in this term. His 12th disposal overall. What was that? He set it up. He's asked Johannison to take a big mark, which he just about has, and the umpire's paid it.
Well, not sure about that, really.
Very generous.
Jake Stringer has Jared McVeigh on him. Got to do something here.
Johannison, he goes inside the 50, but Lloyd will take the mark again, just burning that kick inside the 50. And Jake Lloyd takes it for the Swans.
He did well, Lloyd, because Stringer actually burnt McVeigh off from the goal square. He would have taken an uncontested mark there.
Jared McVeigh deep in the back pocket for Sydney. Thought about the switch. He's going to go to the southern side, though. Bit of a floater. Good spoil, ground level. Caleb Daniel, Hanbury got the handball out. Kennedy, Parker, all the guns combined. Hewitt gets hold of it. He was tackled as he got his kick away. A real scrambly kick out towards the boundary line. It runs away from Picken, and the umpire will throw it back into play on the southern side. It's an 8-point lead to Sydney. 6-3-39. The Western Bulldogs are 5-1-31. 23-minute mark. Second quarter, Faraday West clock.
And those young Swans players, the Dogs need to be all over them. Force some errors to get some confidence back. Throw it on the wing. Bontempelli took it in style, and his handball was able to liberate Johannesson, who can kick them up to the 50. Rampy's got them well placed, and so is Grundy. Either of the two was going to take the mark. And they shuffled, and Grundy's number comes up, and he takes it. Glen Cameron Group contender for all your transport logistic needs. They've been great supporters of SEN. The kick goes out on the full. Wow, it wasn't a great one from Grundy, despite the lunge from Luke Parker.
Yeah, the interest by the Bulldogs has gone back to that first 5 minutes of the game where it's just hope that someone gets it.
Smith to Bontempelli. His kick will land on the paint of the 50. Knocked away from Dunkley. McVeigh starting to have an influence. Can't take it cleanly here. Dixon's all over him. And they're back in amongst the ruck. We're going to have a ball up right on the 50. We've got 5 minutes remaining on the Faraday West clock in this second term. 11-16 SEN grand final football from the MCG.
Big 5 minutes it is too. Roughie got a little kick away. It was straight up in the air. Mitchell, handball out. Parker takes it, runs into a tackle. He took on the man. Play on out to Dixon. Dixon's got it in the forward pocket. And now Stringer's going to do something special from the boundary line. He just had a crack and it went out on the full. And it's a Sydney ball in the back pocket.
It's a big 4.5 minutes for the Dogs. They can't afford to lose any more
it's
ground.
Midfield that needs a lift, Hutto. Like if you look across the game, Kennedy 19, Jack 16, Heaney getting involved now, Mitchell, Parker. Whereas if you look at the Dogs, Libber's probably the only one, McRae, and then it falls away dramatically. Hunter, Bontempelli, Daniel not touching the ball. So midfield needs a lift for the Dogs.
Almost a juggling mark to Morris there as they all dig in after the football. Is he going to come out? The umpire puts the whistle away for a moment, and now he blows it. We'll have a ball up about 70 metres out for the Western Bulldogs goal.
Fossey, it's more the second string that have to lift.
Yes.
Young Daniel's got to get himself involved with football. We're talking about Stringer, but
Zach Jones assuredly walks away after receiving the handball from Kennedy. Kicks it almost to half forward, Buddy. He had him right in the crossfire there, and he's got Hamling. He's all over him.
He's just
squirts out the pack to Hanbury. He got on to Mitchell. He's going around in ever diminishing circles back to Hanbury. It was a terrible handball from Hanbury. No joy at all for Papley. Had to give it back to Hanbury. They really didn't work that out, and Caleb Daniel fell to the right spot, took a courageous mark, and he's able to swing it back almost to fullback, where Johannesson gathers it and swings it, and they've tried their luck coming out on this the members side. Easton Wood, he wants to handball. He gave it to Hunter, confronted by Laidler immediately. To Dixon, they've got the Chinese checker over the top. To Dunkley, just enough time to spot a man on the wing. Clay Smith on the bounce. They're walking a fine line, but here's Bontempelli to take it. Can he release Stringer, who's in the pocket? Or can he find Tom Boyd? He sets it up for the $1 million man, and Boyd is going to take the mark. He's going to take it 20 metres out directly in front.
If I can just say, that's one of the very few times from the back 50 they're able to move the ball out and get the ball in the front 50 unmolested by Sydney, albeit by just fractions of a second. But that's the movement they've required, and it might just get them back in the game before half-time.
So Tom Boyd, we all know the story. He's already kicked a terrific goal in this game. But deep breaths now, and that is exactly what he's taking. Looks up at the scoreboard, says he's got 15 seconds still to get settled. He's directly in front of goal. The Swans have kicked the last 4. They need to change the way this game's heading, and Tom Boyd has stabbed it through from 25 metres out. That's his second goal, and the Bulldogs are within 2 points as we approach half-time at the MCG. We talk about how big moments are. That was just had to be converted this quarter for Melbourne Star observation wheel. 5 goals won this quarter for Sydney, 4 goals won for the Western Bulldogs. So overall, it's been an even quarter. The Swans just took a stranglehold in the middle part, 6-3-39, and they lead the Dogs 6-1-37 on the Arctic Melbourne scoreboard.
We reckon, Vossi, middle, lift the game.
It has to be the middle. If you look at the course of the games, Bulldogs started well, but it's midfield of Sydney that's been able to get on top, and they got a goal against the runner play there, but this is a big centre square bounce.
Kennedy, where he is at the moment. Let's see what happens with Kennedy.
Big final 3 minutes coming up. Boyd in the ruck. Naismith wins it down, then pats it to Kennedy, who gets it to Jack, and Jack puts it up inside the 50. Franklin is there, Tippett was there as well. Ball hits the deck, who's out the back? Franklin wants to get it off the ground. Morris trying to bulldoze his way through. He's been wrapped up in the tackle, they all pile in, and the umpire will come in and ball it up 25 metres out from Sydney's goal.
Okay, Dunkley's gone to Kennedy. I think he's certainly starting in the middle with him.
He did. Yeah, he's on him now too.
Smith wins it down. And it's going to be Tom Mitchell! Kicks the goal from the stoppage. And a goal for Sydney. And they're back up to an 8-point lead.
They're getting goals too easily this quarter, aren't they, boys?
And that centre square bounce, and you highlighted the match up there with Kennedy. But it was Kennedy free in the hands to Jack. Jack gets the ball going forward. And again, it's a midfielder in Mitchell who kicks the goal. And Mitchell's been enormous in this quarter. He's had 13 disposals, if you don't mind, in this quarter. And he's kicked a couple of goals. Yeah. That one really big one from just outside 50, and then that forward 50 stoppage goal. So he's had some sort of quarter.
Yeah, those numbers for Jack Lynch, Jerky, Fiji, Wildside, Hanbury 13 this quarter, Mitchell 13, Kennedy 11, Jack 9, Heaney 7, and contested possessions, they were -7 in the first quarter, the Swans. They're plus 13 in this quarter, so they really have won the ball where it's mattered at the contest. Centre bounce Boyd gets the tap down, but it's Kennedy again who kicks it deep. Maybe this time, buddy. No. Hamling again. Nullifies, gets it to the front, and the Dogs can pounce. Hunter shares it with Wood. He misfired the kick a bit off the boot and wobbles away. Stringer, lame handball. He went taken over the line by Mills. He just doesn't look quite right from a confidence point of view.
Just getting mauled out of the centre, the Dogs at the moment. Got to somehow find a way to cause a neutral, get a secondary bounce, give themselves the chance.
Yeah, centre clearances 6-2 in favour of the Swans. Boundary throw in on the wing. Through Bontempelli's hands. Daniel finally gets a handball clear to Dalehouse. On the back foot, reverted back to Boyd. He may have to give it back to him further. And half back, they're getting further away from goal, not closer. Chipped it and hoped. And it got over Caleb Daniels' head of the mark, taken by Ben McLean.
Gee, they did that well, Sydney. They forced them back, closed all the exits, and then get the turnover.
High kick down the line. Luke Parker's going to leap from behind. He didn't mark at the front. Mitchell in the right spot. Left foot kick to the top of the square. Picking to try and defy. And back there again, Joel Hamling. He thinks he's Matthew Scarlett. He's wearing number 30. And he's taken an outstanding mark. He's doing a good job on Buddy under the circumstances. Goes short to Boyd. Still it's the Swans by 8.
So Matty Boyd, tentative handball away. Biggs is going to clear it, and it's going to be Grundy though. Yeah. So trying to exit, Grundy stopped it and taken the mark, and she might go back inside 50 for Sydney.
Well, they just didn't come and meet the football. They gave it easy back to Sydney.
So Grundy wobbles one inside the 50. Kennedy flew with the one hand, almost dragged it down, and then got the handball away. Parker in there doing some heavy lifting as well. Who can emerge with a kick off the ground that time by Hunter. Clears the danger area for the moment. In there was Cordy, absorbed some contact, and free kick going away.
Legs for the Swans, or is it to the Dogs?
Yep, it's going to go to the Dogs.
Yeah, and 50 metres.
Well, this is their chance to get back. Not much time left. Just enough time to get it inside that front 50.
50-metre penalty, as the boys said. And it's going to be McLean.
Kicked the ball away.
In danger, was it?
No,
the free kick.
Yeah, I still can't remember what the free was for.
High contact, should have been below the knee contact.
Yeah, it should have. McLean kicked a full forward. Off the pack. McVeigh, it's just squeezed Heaney's way close to the boundary line now. Diving on a Dalehouse. Rampy set on top of him. And the umpire has blown the whistle for a ball up.
There's probably one play left. 30 seconds.
Yep. And they need to make it a productive one, the Bulldogs. Tom Boyd doing his best to get them going. Now Bontempelli joins in. Stringer. His kick was a wobbly one. Over the outstretched hands of Mills. Still up for grabs, top of the square. Toby McLean has kicked a sensational goal. Just what the Dogs doctor ordered on the half. And they are within 2 points. And that will give them hope and belief as we head to the main break, and that is certainly a Chisholm game and goal of the day.
Almost have to load up now behind the ball, the Dogs, I reckon, for the rest of this 11 seconds, because they're dominating the centre stoppages. You don't want to get a late goal, Bossy, on this one. So just to pull it back, and 2 points is nothing, but 8 points is significant. Yeah, what are they doing? Are they putting one back? No, they're not, which is really surprising.
Well, Swans they've
got one.
Yes, they have. Back there. Well done. Well done. They need that one back. He should be back a bit further He should be back.
Stringer's on the back there. He'll come through off the back of the
So
side.
11 seconds left, and we're back in the middle. Naismith wins it down. They just got to try and force a stoppage or a clearance here. The Bulldogs, a little bit of fumble that time by Stringer. In there is Liberatore. Parker trying to get it forward, trying to hack it forward as time ticks away. Biggs, there's the siren, and it's half time in the grand final. And it's a 2-point ball game in favour of Sydney. The Swans are 7-3-45 and the Doggies are 7-1-43.
As we head into our SEN Kangan Institute halftime break, we're going to go through the top 5 players for blackleopardskincare.com, as well as the 5 who are in hot water for Chromogen. Black Leopard Skincare, of course, made by men for men. That quarter, a high-scoring quarter, especially compared to the opening term. At half-time, the Swans lead 7-3-45 to 7-1-43 on the Arctic Melbourne scoreboard. That quarter for Melbourne Star observation wheel. They kicked 6-1, but they conceded 5-1. That late goal, very, very important, obviously, from Toby McLean. 14 clearances to 7 that quarter to the Swans. Contested possessions, 45 to 37. And really a lot of those numbers favouring the Swans, and yet they have only outscored them by 1 goal, Vossi. Just a quick word from you. The third term, as he mentioned, the lights are on, even though we're still a long way away from evening. 7-3-45 Sydney lead the Bulldogs 7-1-43. It's all on the line in this second half of football. Still great anticipation. Scott Jeffrey, Mick's given him the tick for his umpiring. He starts proceedings in this third term with a pretty good centre bounce. Naismith got a fingertip to it, not much more. A tumbling Luke Parker went through with the footy, but couldn't get out the other side. Tom Liberatore saw to that, and they hand the ball over to the umpire to do it again, and they're back in motion. The tap came to Kennedy, as you were in that first half. He jammed it on the boot and sent it out for a bit of a chase. Up to meet it, Tippett takes it, and on the wing he found Heaney in the right spot. Getting forward to the wing now and kicking towards Franklin. Doesn't make it that far, and Morris doing what he's done for so many years, taking the mark and linking up with his old mate Matthew Boyd, who switches to roughhead. Got a cruel bounce. Naismith went to the ground though, and Johannesson came pounding through. Thump, you heard it around Australia as he kicked the half forward, but Dane Rampy so good on that intercept mark.
He's still down, Johannesson.
Well, he's got to get up. You just can't, if your head falls off in a grand final, you've got to put it back on.
It was Lee Matthews.
Okay.
Jeez, he's harsh, isn't he?
All those years of coaching and
I thought it was all right having a rest.
dismembering is okay in grand finals as the Swans switch again and look to head for that member side. Some pressure, McVeigh. He's got an outlet though, and he's able to chip it over to Lloyd, who can run and bounce as he runs through the Swans logo at halfback and looks ahead to the wing where Heaney is a perfect option.
See, it was poor there from Hunter. He's playing on Heaney. He was trying to hedge his bets whether to come at the ball kicker or go back with Heaney, and in the end he did nothing, and then it chipped over his head to Heaney.
He's been poor today.
Isaac Heaney takes his kick, and Tippett takes the mark, climbed over the top.
Look at Buddy, wants the handball off.
Yep, and a clean camera group contender there for Kurt Tippett.
I wouldn't give him the mark to start off. He's just absolutely mauled his opponent before the ball got in there within 5 minutes.
He copped a nice little one across the chops too, Tippett.
Chemist Warehouse replay. He's got the football here, Kurt Tippett, and he's going to kick from just on the 50. Tight angle, kicking to the punt road end. On its way for Sydney, and he's out to the right-hand side and through for a point to start the third quarter. And Sydney by 3, 7-4-46, Doggies 7-1-43.
You mentioned the Chemist Warehouse replay, Matty. Train hard, live large with INC Sports Nutrition from Chemist Warehouse. Johannesson kicks in, a 3-point lead they've got, and he safely finds McLean. It was a decent kick in too, so McLean finds himself at half-back, kicking to the wing to Tom Boyd, who held on for dear life and marked in front of the closing Grundy. So he's come all the way up from deep forward to provide that avenue.
And again, they don't have that tall option, but they're all one-on-one, so you've just got to back that in.
Down the line he goes. Nick Smith's eyeing this one off. He goes up. He got spoiled by his own man, Naismith. McLean was there to feed it out to Dixon and then to Daniel. Usually a good kick into the 50, but I think he's gone McVeigh.
Might have been a Falcon, was it?
Yeah. Right smack bang on that. It's taken a bit more of that hair off.
On that bald scone, and it went into the members and over the line.
Just giving it a bit of a rub.
Out of bounds.
His beard, if it comes off, there's not much else there.
7-4-46, 7-1-43. The Swans lead just 3 minutes into this third term for AHM.
Ball back into play. Here's Little Libber, got the kick away, and McVeigh gets back, juggled it. He couldn't take it, got the handball away to Kennedy. McLean was all over him. In there is McVeigh again, some good work. And Franklin is battling for it, but they call that even, and the umpire will come in and ball it up just outside the 50.
How good is McVeigh? He dropped the mark. He was under pressure for the mark, then followed up to cause that turnover. Outstanding.
After copying one on the noggin as well. Here's Bonampilli, knocked it down. Jones's kick smothered. McLean takes it. Was that high? Yes. Free kick, Bulldogs.
He's good at it, McLean.
So Toby McLean will take the free. It'll be just outside the 50 for the Western Bulldogs. Kick that crucial goal just before half-time. He's got Handling, who takes it with glee and then pumps it long. It won't make the distance. Still alive. Here's a chance. McRae got the handball away. Dixon! He has kicked the goal. It was a hanger, a floater, but it got through. Front and centre stuff, and the Western Bulldogs with the first goal of the second half, and they lead by 3.
Yeah, had a big impact, Dixon.
Oh, absolutely. But so the surprise there was that Sydney was setting up for that kick. Then your little layoff hand pass, all of a sudden the ball goes 55 and not 50.
Well, it was almost like they were looking for the lead, so they're cutting the lead off, and it went long. 2-on-2, they got a good contest.
Yeah.
They get front and centre, and Dixon finished it off.
Well, that was the unusual part, wasn't it? There was no Sydney support defence coming up across that. They were able to isolate that one-on-one, and the defender had no choice to be able to hit it to the front, and that's where the Bulldogs set up, kick the crumbing goal.
They've kicked the last 2 goals to take the lead back early in the third.
Stringer back on.
Again, a perfect centre bounce. Naismith had a swing and a miss. Roughead was able to collect and kick the centre half forward, but it goes no further. As Lloyd drifts in and takes it and goes super short to Mitchell. He wants to play on. And for the Swans he does. He handballs now to Lloyd, who kept on coming out to squeeze the kick out. McGlynn's got too much height around him to take the mark, but mark's built by Hamling. 40 metres out from Sydney's goal. Tippett trying his darndest to get the ball out of there, but closed down by sheer weight of numbers. And we'll have a ball up, still 40 metres out from the Swans goal. Dogs lead by 3. Naismith unopposed, tapped it down. Mitchell, brilliant handball. Franklin could not get out, and he's turned it over. Daniel with a lovely little toe poke over the top, feeding the ball through Dalehouse and then Biggs, and suddenly the Dogs are on the wing, and suddenly they're looking dangerous. Zane Cordy marks on the horizon. He sees mainly Swans players.
He's got McVeigh back there. Laidler was back there. He's just finally picked up McRae.
It's the Dogs by 3, goes short to Dunkley.
And he goes short. McRae caught one from Laidler, and the umpire, how's he going to rule here? I reckon it's 50.
Yeah, 50.
There is 50, laid out by Laidler after he took the mark, and a 50-metre penalty will bring McRae within goal-kicking distance.
Well, that's silly play. So the umpires will give a little inch in grand finals, but when you do that sort of stuff,
if you're going to do it, you at least got to put your hand up like you're punching the ball. And he just crashed into his back.
Oh, that's silly.
If you had the hand in to spoil, you get away with those.
Well, he's all but given away a goal here because he's well within distance. He's only about 25 metres out, McRae.
Well, he kicked it with Sealer basically last week, absolutely under pressure. So he kicks them well, this young man.
And he's only about 25 metres out.
You're putting a lot of pressure on him, man.
I'm backing him in. I'm putting Hutto's house on this.
A little bit of an angle. McRae moves in. Oh, no! Oh, no! Hutto's lost his house.
You stay at my place, Adam.
Hutto's sleeping in the clothing bin tonight.
Your house is on the line next, Moons. One of your 2 or 3 is McVeigh takes it in the back pocket and shovels it off to Grundy. It's a real pity for the Dogs. The kick's going to lob on the wing. Tippett can't mark. Here's Joe Hannison still trying to generate stuff, and he does. Handball Hunter, and then Clay Smith was buried away next to the line. Snookered, really. There was no way out.
Interesting early, before this game started Friday, when Luke Beveridge is talking about we've got to make them pay with goals, not points. 8 goals, 2, and we're into the third quarter.
To 7-4.
But the last one was a goal.
Yeah.
Should have been a goal.
Throw in, tap down Roughead. Taken and then lost by Hunter. It's 60 metres from the Dogs' goal. Picken tried to hack it out of the air. He gained about 12 metres and took them marginally inside the 50. And the boundary umpire, Jack Spratt, over there, pretty busy. He's getting ready to throw it in. And matchups for Toyota Material Handling, the key matchups, we'll get more of those in a moment. It's the Dogs at by 4.
Yeah, and the Dogs have got that +1 behind, protecting the fast break by Sydney.
Picken trying to bulldoze his way through. Pack develops, Hanbury can't get out. And the umpire will ball it up again.
Well, they set up well, don't they? They've got Hamling and Morris. Both right now don't have an opponent, but Buddy's basically sitting in between them. Yep. So if it goes over the top, Hamling's got it. Goes in short, Morris
it full forward.
Laidler's kick, it was blanketed. Here's Stringer, hard up against the boundary line. McRae, Daniel can't get away. It's over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw in.
The biggest move that's been made for the Dogs is Daniel coming up around the ball now.
Yep.
So that's giving him a bit more shape behind the ball. When they come out, though, they'll have to handball the ball out and may just hold them up if they can find a mark.
Naismith taps it. It's on the 50. Clay Smith gained 30 metres. The Bont tried to reach over ramp. He couldn't take the mark. It hits the turf. Still 30 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. The numbers multiply. And we've seen this before. It's another ball up.
But they take that, Michael. They take that to stop Kennedy and Mitchell getting away from the ball.
Quick restart. Pick and a handball. Hunter trying to find his left. And his kick's going to be across the face. And through for another minor score. Faraday West clock 9 minutes gone now. It's 8-3-51 playing 7-4-46. Moons.
We saw it a couple of weeks ago against Hawthorn, Mick here. The Doggies love inside 50 stoppages.
That's it.
Happy with it.
Yep.
Here's Rampy, big long kick. Punched that, had a crack, couldn't take it. Hamling played it well. Biggs got the handball away. Now Joe Hannison with the football. And he'll put it up inside the 50. Rough head. He flew, couldn't take the mark. Hanbury, was he driven into the ground? The umpire said no shove. We'll have it just inside the 50.
Nevis Warehouse replay. Have a look at this. Hanbury, I thought, may have just got ridden into the back.
So ball up. Taken by Naismith. Big man got the kick away out to the members' side wing. Big Kurt Tippett took it. Got away from his opponent.
Smart,
and
clever.
then brought it inboard. And a little bit of a don't argue there from Buddy on handling. Takes the mark on the members' wing. And then kicks it up inside the 50. And the mark has been taken by Richards.
Hadn't defended better there, Boyd. He had the one-on-one coverage. Needed to body up early just to stop that leading pattern.
He's got to kick it now.
He's completely missed McGlynn on the short pass.
Yeah.
Well, he's had an ordinary day, hasn't he, so far? So I guess he's thinking, I've got to put this away.
Was he in your bottom 5 half or not?
Oh, I didn't do it bottom half. He would have been.
No, it went to half.
So let's see what Xavier Richards can do here. He's going to kick from 49 metres. Just comes in a little bit to open up the angle.
Set it up.
Yeah, put it across the face. Roughhead spills it. He's been paid.
Yeah.
He's been paid in the back pocket for the Western Bulldogs. Margin 5 in favour of the Doggies. 10-minute mark of the third quarter for AHM.
They didn't have much there to compete, did they, the Swans, in the air?
Well, Buddy couldn't get back because you just can't run that well at the moment.
Roughhead kicks them out of defensive 50. The Swans got enough lined up. Lipper got the handball. Cordy couldn't do much with it. It's still 70 metres out from goal. Numbers huge. Hunter off to Daniel. It was slick and he's kicked it well. Stringer slides in, can't mark it, but he was able to get the ball back on his terms. Screws it across the shoulder and he's kicked it out on the full for the third time.
Jeez.
Jake Stringer. 8-3-51 the Dogs. 7-4-46 this quarter for AHM. AHM's Black 50 saver extras from just $3 a week. Find out more at ahm.com.au.
Well, having a great grand final, Stringer, at the moment.
It was almost a good kick. It was almost a great play. Almost.
Here's Jones to Laidler. So Laidler's got a true centre half back. Gives it away by hand to Mills. A little bit risky, and he brings it out to the members' side for Richards. Wants to play on. And he's got the big Budster on the charge. He's been caught. Hamling did well with the tackle. Got the handball away. Richards got back in and won it. Way to Lloyd. And then Jones got involved, back to Rampy, all the way back at centre half back, stand start. They'll start again.
Well done.
He brings it out to the members' side, well composed, and Kieran Jack takes it.
He takes his moment and then kicks it deep. Fighting hard for front position. Parker got one hand to it. Play on, the ball up for grabs. This is grand final stuff. Heavy duty as they come in from all angles. And we'll have a ball up 25 metres out from goal. And they're pressing hard.
Interesting, Vossi. Kennedy's only had 1 or 2 possessions to date in this quarter, so they've really tied him up, which has given the Dogs that impetus that we've seen them take the lead.
Well, Liberatore's the one going to him at this stoppage.
Throw up, and here he is, Kennedy. But his kick was smothered. Good sign for the Dogs. And there's no getting out of there now as the ball went back. Morris put the big wraparound tackle
See the
on
brute
Hewitt.
strength there on Kennedy just to push off Liberatore.
Yeah, and he's been at him pretty hard. So they're giving a lot of body attention at the moment, Kennedy.
Tippett poked it down. Tough for Jack. Now Boyd had the handball in hope and it came back to Jack. Oh, he rode him there, Bontempelli, like a very tall jockey. And the umpire doesn't pay a free kick either way.
Yeah, he held him up.
Fans baying for blood.
You're right, Hutto. He did well there, Bont.
Yep.
He almost just about rode him into the ground, just held him up.
Throw up. Tippett tapped it down. Try to be deft. Hewitt again, can't find a way out, but Bonampelli can. It's a 55-metre kick out in front of Stringer and Rampy. It bypasses both Mills, next to go to Richards. They're not ahead of the game yet. Smith kicks only a hack, the centre half forward. Coming hard, Hunter. Now Zach Jones. Now it's Mitchell. 60 from goal. Tippett v2. Can't mark, or can he? No. He got the crumbs. Handball to Parker. He was restricted in his kick. Hacked out of there by Roughhead. We'll do it again on the 50. They'll jump and fly. Biggs didn't mark it, but he got it under his command. Kicked it back out towards half forward. They chase. It's tough for Laidler. Dunkley's going to come for him. Laidler had to stand up and release the handball, and he did. And he got it across to the cruel Rampy, who's able to crisply kick it into the middle, and he finds Kieran Jack. 13 minutes gone in this term. They trail by 5, the Swans. The kick goes to Buddy at half forward. Buddy's got it. He's gone for a dribbler. Dribble, but it doesn't get over the line. And it's rushed through from behind.
That was going through.
That was going through.
McGlynn just had to pull up and shepherd it through.
He didn't. And in the end, it's a behind. And this quarter for AHM, switch to the AHM Black 50 Saver extras from just $3 a week. Find out more at ahm.com.au.
Here's Johannesson, brings it back into play. Wants Stringer, couldn't take it. Goes against Stringer. He's been tackled. Mitchell got him. Mills got the handball away. Hewitt, now Heaney. It's a tight kick for Papley. He couldn't quite trap it. Johannesson works it over. And we'll have a throw in 45 metres around from the Swans goal.
I really feel sorry for Stringer. He's had the ball 4 or 5 times and it just hasn't...
Just gets knocked our way or just something like that.
Yeah, even his kicks around the body have just... he's been under pressure.
Keep an eye on Heaney, half.
Well, back into play. Here's Tom Boyd trying to win it down. Footy to be won at ground level as they all pack in on that football. And the umpire blows his whistle. We'll have a ball up just inside the 50 for the Swans.
He just got stood on and his ankle twisted a bit.
Roll, his right ankle, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chemist Warehouse replay. Seems to be okay. Staying out there on the 50. Kieran Jack made his move from the stoppage. It went to Hewitt. He's able to get the handball off to Mitchell. The next release handball not good. Shut down by Morris. He can link up with Bontempelli, who kicks it as long and as strong as he can. Rampy there to spoil. It's not over yet. Hits the ground. Nick Smith's able to hoover it up. Shovels the handball out. Good pick up from Lloyd and gets it back to Smith. A double grab. Has time on his side. Is able to control the footy to Xavier Richards. They're stretching them now. Takes it wide to McGlynn, and McGlynn takes the mark. Just one goal in this third quarter. It belongs to the Dogs. They lead by 4. 51 plays 47.
Great
She's
kick.
tightened up.
Great kick.
And it's Big Buddy who takes the mark. Wants something. Where's he going to go? He goes back over his marking and come at me, he says. He kicks it now inside the 50 and Kennedy comes at him and McLean runs into him and it will be 50 metres.
Well, how about the kick from Buddy? I mean, this is the second time now that he's hit that target inside 50. Even on that crook leg, he's still managing to get himself into the game and do something, even though he's not kicking those goals. But that great kick to Kennedy.
I reckon that was a bit more marginal than the other one. Probably there.
Still there. Well, he turned his back.
He turned his back and came with the
turn
fly
your back, you're in trouble. So he's turned and hit him with his shoulder. So it's a give me for the umpires.
So Kennedy, point blank range, aided by that 50, a goal for Sydney. And that goal at the other end.
They dominated the last 5 minutes to get that.
Yeah, missed by McRae is a big miss. 2 points is Sydney's lead now. 8-5-53. Western Bulldogs 8-3-51. SEN car sales scoreboard. That's how you sell a car.
And sometimes you have to give up something to get something. And what they've given up is numbers ahead of the ball. They've put a number around the stoppage. But that's given Sydney more defensive shape. So you're starting to see Rampy, really owning his contest. Lloyd also, Smith mopping up there. So Bulldogs, even though they've been able to be more competitive around the contest, they've just got to be a little bit smart on how they move the ball forward.
Rampy with 6 tackling jerky stats this quarter. And it's back to a Swans lead of 2. SEN car sales scoreboard, that's how you sell a car. Centre bounce, it jolts out to Parker, but he's got no space at all. They still fight on and see if it does come loose of the sheer weight of numbers, but alas, it doesn't. And it remains 8-5-53 to 8-3-51 on that car sales scoreboard. From the restart, Naismith got a tap down. Play on. Jack puts a tackle on. And Caleb Daniel on the bottom of all of that. And again, they can't venture out of the centre circles. And have a listen to the crowd now. It's a bit of a roar off between the fans. Trying to get their team going. Tom Boyd had it and lost it straight away. Jack was about to wind up for a kick off the ground and thought better of it. Now Tom Boyd tries to fight the good fight. Did he take them on? The umpire says no. Full of generosity. It's more rugby than AFL at the moment. Another ball up.
Just Jack Link's jerky stats for the quarter. 64 possessions to 49 in favour of Sydney. Marks 21-8. Contested possessions 25-21 Dogs. Tackles 20 apiece. Inside 50s 9-5 in favour of Sydney.
Here's Heaney. Handball out. Liberatore. Got it to half forward. Oh, gee, up
swinging arm.
It was. Kick smothered. Up for grabs. Taken by Kieran Jack. Got the handball away. They're able to clear it. Parker, he kicks it out to the member side wing. Races on to get there. Papley knocks it to his own advantage. Kept on. Oh, Morris. Magnificent.
There's a guy who's just desperate for a premiership.
Handball away to Biggs. Biggs looks down the wing. Almost turned it over. Went through Rampy's hands. Stringer. Handball. McLean. Rampy gets there again. He got rid of one. He got rid of two. Handball away to McVeigh. Holding the ball.
Oh, wow. It's a terrible decision.
The second.
I'd say it was a terrible decision from Stringer.
Wow.
Shock, you pumped him up, Mick. Look what's happened. Stevie, I've never pumped him up, mate.
High ball, Dalhouse. Up goes Heaney to fly. The blonde locks everywhere. Off the pack, Clay Smith got a free. I reckon he played for that. I could be wrong. He threw the head back, and he's got a free for too high.
Well, he's the right side for a left footer.
See, they called that holding the ball very early, didn't they? Back here on his flank. It was
when they've given the
game.
There was one passage of play there in the lead up to that. There was probably 4 or 5 contests I'd retire on. And then you get a holding the ball decision like that. So I think that doesn't match the game.
Not at all. And this one here doesn't match the game either.
How good, Morris. He set it going. Now Smith to finish it. He's got it. He's nailed the kick from the pocket. Clay Smith from 35 metres out. Right side for a left footer. And the Bulldogs are back in front at the 20-minute mark of the third quarter. This turn for AHM, switch to AHM and their Black 50 Saver Extras from just $3 a week. Find out more at ahm.com.au. What a goal. It's a big call. Did you think it was there?
He slipped into the contest. Kevin Sprout's replay. He did slip. He copped one in the back of the ear.
Yeah, he copped one, but it was in play. And he slipped under it. Yeah, and if you look at all the ones that have happened today.
Grand final day, you don't want to see those played and those cost the team goals.
No.
Play on.
That Rampy decision, that was terrible.
That was...
Yeah, a bit hot over there. Well,
to go back to the Stringer, I mean, Stringer's had a pretty dirty day, but to give that handball when he was running inside 50, just poor decision.
Back in the middle, Boyd wins it down and gets it back. Hit Fumbler gets it back a third time. He got the handball away to McRae. McRae gets the centre clearance inside the 50. It's a bouncing footy. Liberatore, he went to ground. Rampy leaves his man and picks it up and got the handball back to Grundy. Grundy now to McVeigh. Composed head, sells the dummy well. That was smooth as silk. And he gets it back, McVeigh. And now he clears it. He goes to the outer side of 50-50 ball. Roberts wins it down. Ground level. Ball to be won. The Bont goes in. He wins the football. Somehow got it onto the boot. And now McLean got the handball away. Quick kick into the forward pocket. Mills and Rampy collaborate. They want to rush one through. They do. They rush it through for a minor score.
They're just contested animals, the Dogs.
Yeah, well, let's not underestimate Sydney either, though, Mickey.
That's, absolutely.
You know, like I think sometimes we sort of say, look, it's all Bulldogs' way, but Sydney have been outstanding too.
Quick kick here, and the Dogs' lead is 5. It's slender, it's tight, it's tense. Rampy's had a big quarter. Heaves the kick up to the wing. Papley couldn't really fly because Hamlin came and shut him down. He gets that little high five from Dale Morris as he works his way back to defence. He certainly has.
I know Buddy's injured, but he's had a good game.
McRae this quarter with 7, Rampy 8 for Jack Lynch Jerky. We're waiting on the boundary umpire to do his thing, which he does in front of the adoring members of the 21-minute mark of the third quarter. Tap down came to Bontempelli. Tried to shrug off Hanbury. You can't do that. Kennedy joined in and got the release handball. And now they move McGlynn back to Jones to half forward. Buddy Hamling again over the top. Fletcher Roberts left it behind. They dive into desperation from Papley. Matched by Morris and by Boyd and McRae. There's handballs galore. Boyd changes it and kicks it to the wing where Bontempelli was standing. He kicks into the middle. This could be the start of something big. It's short to Dixon. He ponders the 50. He waits and now releases deep. Stringer's got to contend with 2 and up goes Grundy and does exactly what he's been doing for 10 years or more, and he takes the intercept mark and goes short, and they can repel through Lloyd, who kicks to half back where Kieran Jack will take it and bring it in, and now they can launch from half back through McVeigh.
They can, and McVeigh goes to the outer side of the wing. Got Gary Rowan on. He's got some speed if he wants to take off. He doesn't. He backs back over his mark. He takes it on the southern wing with a margin 5 in favour of the Western Bulldogs.
First kick for the quarter, Rowan. Needs to get involved.
So
if
sells the dummy, trying to get around Easton Wood. He got the handball away, but Easton Wood was all over him like a rash. The ball is over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw in.
Take it back. It's a hand pass.
There was a moment a couple of years ago, Grundy went back with a flight of the ball and ducked his head. It was a really poor effort. That effort there just saved it. That was absolutely brilliant, going back with the flight then.
Big mark, wasn't it? Ball back into play. Here's Kieran Jack. Trying to free their hands. They're all over him again. Bontempelli's been important. McRae. Dalhouse on the wing out of side. Dalhouse now kicks it to half forward, picking a couple to beat. Mark has been taken back there in defence, and Laidler will get to his feet and take it to Sydney at half back.
Yeah, mixed boy Laidler takes the mark and handballs it off to Rampy. He's been forced back here, a little bit of hesitation. Eventually goes to a one-on-one, and Naismith really stood up. He didn't have a lot size-wise to compete with, but an important mark for Glenn Cameron nonetheless. From half-back, Naismith kicks to half-forward, ambitious to think that Jack would outmark Boyd, and he couldn't. And Tom Boyd's grabbed it for the Dogs, sends it back to half-back to Easton Wood, and the skipper shorts one, and he works Biggs, runs through the arc and switches from the southern to the members' side. Asks a bit of Morris, he couldn't mark it on the full, but he's got time to recover. Buddy bearing down and thumped him as he kicked it out on the full. Well done, Buddy. The pressure told, and Nick Smith will be the recipient this quarter for AHM. It's 9-4-58 the Bulldogs. It's 8-5-53 the Swans. He kicks to half-forward. That was an ordinary kick. Easy fodder for Dale Morris.
He's never been a great kick, Smith.
Morris takes it and goes backwards to Easton Wood. Inside defensive 50. They switch the play across to the southern side. Matty Boyd's got the football now. Had to be quick with the kick. He was to McRae and finds his man. McRae wants a runner. Joe Hannison's got some jets. He takes a bounce. Thought about a second. He puts it inside the 50. Mills couldn't take it on the stretch. Ball up for grabs inside the 50. Libba, handball, McLean, handball, Hunter, handball, Caleb Daniel. He goes for goal, snap, and misses. Good build-up for loss, just couldn't finish the job.
That's the way that they've won games this year, is get that ball in the back half, bring it up around there. The finish there was just wide, but that's the one that will break Sydney if they break them at all.
Sydney, their defence is holding on.
They're not marking the ball inside 50.
No, they're not.
Are they? It's purely at ground level.
Yeah, well, they've got no one to mark it. That's why Grundy's so important. That anything poked in the air, Grundy will mark it.
Not unusual for the Bulldogs, though. They're the second worst in terms of marking inside their forward 50.
Well, Roughhead's on the bench at the moment having a rest. Boyd's in the ruck. So their tall option right now is Stringer, who just isn't giving them that.
Rampy marks the short kick in, but I think it might be 50 metres here.
Yeah, I think he whacked him behind the ear. So
Stringer?
No, I reckon it might have been Liberatore.
Okay, on the middle.
He was trying to be blocked, and he just give him a little clip.
His 10th disposal of the quarter coming up, Dane Rampy. He was going to take it the shortest, most conservative option, but after some hesitation decides to go wide up to Mills. Doesn't get them any closer to goal. In fact, he's got a much more difficult equation. He might have to switch back via Rampy and change things up. He's going to do just that. So Rampy marks again, further back inside defensive 50. Some hesitation. Forced a handball to Laidler. That's not how the Swans really want to play. Skies it to a one-on-one, and McRae, did he shove? He did, but it's got away with it. And
that's 11.
Could have been 50 well against Tippett, but play on the call. Johannisson's got it. Johannisson's bouncing. He's stretching. He's kicking for Dalhouse, who marks in the pocket. Well played, JJ.
They're struggling to really contain his run off the half-back line. In this last 5 minutes, he has really taken the game on.
He's gone short back to Stringer. And Stringer's not going to wait any time. He's just going to blast. A minor score. The Dogs doing all the attacking. They're 9-6-60 now. Sydney 8-5-53. 26 minutes gone. Faraday West clock, third term. 11-16 SEN for Toyota, Subway and Size Menswear.
Well, they went from 8 goals 2 to now 9 goals 6.
Oh, here's Tom Boyd gliding across, takes the mark on the kick-in. Handball away to Hunter. Hunter goes top of the square. Pickens got 3 to beat. Smith wrapped up in the tackle by McLean. And the ball comes out. Pickens, can he find a way? He's been tackled. McVeigh's been good. Handball away. They clear it. Parker, clearing kick. And Tom Boyd again. Double grabber. But he dragged it down.
Yeah, he's got to have a shot from here.
They're tiring the Swans.
He doesn't have defence. He's not a great big kick, but geez, he stepped up to meet a big man today.
Well, and he can't, he certainly has. And that's what you're saying, Moons, that it's very difficult for these two players to stay on the ground all the time. Yeah. So that's what makes them deficient in the forward line of its height.
What a moment this would be if he could kick this.
He could.
The $1 million man, Tom Boyd. It'll be huge. He's going to have to kick from outside the 50. Gives it absolutely everything he's got, and it's out to the right-hand side. Certainly got distance. Accuracy not there. 8 points, Western Bulldogs lead, and we've got 26 seconds left on the clock.
It's deserted them this quarter. They've kicked 2-6 to 1-2, 14 insides to 9. McVeigh, Swans really under pressure right now to get out of defence. Naismith couldn't mark. Hanbury enters the fray. Handball to Zach Jones. Just squeezed out a handball to Kennedy. Going to be under pressure. He knew it. In fact, he rushed it more than he needed to. Redeems himself with a much better handball to Naismith now. To Tippett, who gives to Hanbury. They're out. Short guided. Kick hard for McGlynn. Under duress from McRae, who's done enough. And it's over the boundary line. And now the Bulldogs supporters, their energy, it's being directed to their players. They lead by 8, the Dogs.
5 seconds to go.
And we're just about at three-quarter time. Boundary throw-in takes place in front of us. Tippett angles it down to Hanbury. Off to Jones, but time is going to be the enemy. It ends a fantastic quarter by the Western Bulldogs. And as we turn for home in the 2016 Grand Final, history is staring them in the face. This young Western Bulldogs side, they're on a dream, they're on a mission. And at three-quarter time, they are 9-7-61, and they lead the Sydney Swans 8-5-53 after the break.
In this position where you're just in front and also just behind, and the thing is, you appeal for the discipline that got you into the position to maintain the process, not get caught up in being heroic. You've still got to process everything in front of you, but above all, you must be hard. Do not, it's the old thing, don't let your teammate down.
Yeah. Final quarter, there is a Premiership Cup within touching distance for the Western Bulldogs. They lead by 8 as we begin the final term of the 2016 season, and it's Tippett that gets the clearance for Sydney, and Eastonwood that takes the mark at half back for the Bulldogs.
Read it very well, Eastonwood.
And he kicks it out to Matty Boyd. He's going to wait for it on the bounce. He rounds it up. He takes the football. He kept it low. Cordy couldn't take it. Dalhouse came in, got the handball away to Picken. Hard up against the line. He got his kick away. McVeigh's going to be in the mix here. He couldn't take the mark. He's been bowled over. And close. Oh, it's been stolen. Picken, he takes it and centres it. He goes inside the 50 for the Western Bulldogs. It's going to be Grundy. Steadfast came through. Got the handball away to Jones. Off to Hanbury. And now McGlynn. McGlynn clears it. He goes out to the wing. Gary Rowan on the stretch. No Mark Wood. Good spoil. Eastonwood slapped it on. Good work. And now Joe Hannison. He's going to slap it on. Oh! In goes Hanbury.
Hanbury's just done his leg or his knee.
Joe Hannison takes the loose ball. He kicks the full forward. Nothing there for the Western Bulldogs, and Rampy comes across and takes the mark.
It's a medial.
Or it's a good corky.
That
Epworth needs to grab his knee straight away.
Yeah, you saw that half. I think he's done it.
It's medial, or not. Hopefully it's not worse than that.
Yeah. He's in a world of pain, being carried off by 2 physios at the moment. He's in all sorts of trouble, Dan Hanbury. Big story in this last quarter.
Massive collision with Wood. Just desperate for the ball into his leg.
Just have a quick look at that heart. Just see if they go the medial side. You can squeeze Blake's back on with that.
Short to Franklin, then he went long to Tippett. Eastonwood will take it off the pack. They've got all the answers at the moment. Dunkley received the handball and then sends it Hunter's way. They've handballed their way to half forward where McRae was lying in wait. Long kick forward, 1-on-1. Lloyd did well on Dixon, defied him. Mitchell got it straight back to Lloyd as they get a steadying hand. And now Zach Jones, he knows how to run and bounce, trying to generate something for the Swans. He takes the tough kick and does not execute at all. It bounces aimlessly to half forward, and Roughhead was able to round it up. The Dogs on the job with a handball again. Off to Bontempelli, kicks well to the wing to Joe Hannison. What a game he's played, Joe Hannison, as he runs, and he wobbles a shocker. Inside 50, there's tired legs everywhere. Rampy about to be caught, completely oblivious. And succumb to the tackle from Liam Picken.
Great stuff, Picken. But how fantastic was the gather along this flank here by Johansson, and also by, was it
I think it was Roughhead on the...
Roughhead. Yes, Roughhead being able to go back and get that football.
Joe Hannison's on all fours at the minute. I mean, on haunches at the moment. He is absolutely buggered. He has been absolutely brilliant.
Liam Picken, son of a gun, cousin of a superstar. And he's got the weight of the Western Bulldogs on his shoulders. Tough kick, tougher than 45. From 40 metres out, he's missed it. He's pushed it across. And it's a lovely mark taken in by Heaney on the last line. So it's the Dogs by 8 at the 3-minute mark of the final term. Swans right on the back foot at the moment. Heaney goes for distance. Franklin and Tippett fight amongst themselves, and I think Franklin just about spoilt Tippett's chances of taking the mark. They've locked it away. I think it'll be a ball up, but he might be pinged here.
Hold the ball.
Yep, he is. He dragged it under.
It's the other way.
Okay, it's a Sydney free for holding it.
That's unbelievable.
Mick, you were right for Epworth Eastern. It's the medial ligament of Dan Hanbury, so they're not ruling him out just yet.
No, you can get, as long as you're prepared to run straight lines, you can come back on.
So Franklin with a kick. Kicks it to the southern wing, Bontempelli. Terrific. It has been big. The half forward, Cordy takes it. He got the handle away to Dalhouse. Wants to feed Clay Smith. He barges his way through, and then he's been caught. Numbers there for Sydney. Jones from Grundy, and now Nick Smith clears it. Missed the target with the kick though. It's a tumbly footy. Morris gets there, collects on the bounce. Handball away to Cordy, ducks the tackle, and then he kicks it inside the 50, and Grundy back there again takes the mark for Sydney.
But the stresses and strain will have to tell eventually on this Sydney defence. He goes short to Rampy, who handballs it out wide to Lloyd, who's labouring away. Goes short, tough one for Richards. He did well to mark, despite the efforts of Hamling, who'd be right up there in the votes for the Bulldogs.
Well, Buddy's in the middle of the ground now, does not have an opponent, with Hamling on the mark.
All right, so he waits, Richards, and then he heaves it to half forward. And he's got to fly Heaney and Roughhead. Over the top of the pack comes Parker. Got it through to Hewitt. He needed an outlet. He found it in Heaney. Shows a pretty cool head as he screws it back to half forward. Papley has to compete in the outnumber. It bounces Hunter's way. Dodgy old handball, has to go and chase it. But the speed from Papley. Oh, he got a rush of blood. Papley. He had options inside and he fired away
Kennedy
goal.
just cooked him as well.
And fair enough too.
All he had to do was handball back over. Kennedy runs into an open goal.
9-7-61 to 8-6-54. 4 minutes 40 gone.
So Biggs to bring it back into play for the Western Bulldogs. Sends it to the members' side. Tom Boyd's the man and takes the mark.
Isn't he ever?
That's a great mark. Good outlet, isn't he, from the half forward line.
Takes it at half back. He kicks to the wing. Knocked down. Dunkley was in the mix there. Taken by Richards, who kicks it back to half forward for Sydney. Numbers here with the Western Bulldogs. After it, Matty Boyd at ground level. He's not going to give up. Matty Boyd just drags it back in and absorbs the contact. And we'll have a stoppage just outside the 50 for Sydney.
Geez, Mick, 2011, I saw Tommy Hawkins become a man and a half of football. Might see this bloke become one tonight today as well.
Because of your wise words, of course, Moons, as McLean takes it from Bontempelli and sends it end on end up to the wing, taken by Naismith. Had the handball quickly to Mixed Boy Laidler. Kicks it up into the pocket. Bontempelli, and getting back there as well, Hamling again. Takes the mark on that last line. He's going to switch it across. And now Biggs and scooting is Caleb Daniel ready to receive. He'll take it and look up. He'll only have one option, Dixon. He could take out the middleman and go for Stringer. Now's your time, Jake. He can't take the mark. It's knocked away. The Swans have lost their assuredness, though. Hunter slides in. Laidler joins him. And we'll have a ball up when we've reached 6 minutes now in this final term. And still it's the Dogs hanging on tenaciously to a 7-point lead. They are 9-7-61 and they play 8-6-54.
Dan Hanbury doing some run-throughs, and he's no good, Dan Hanbury.
Here's Jones, got the kick away, goes out to the wing. He's taken by Papley, who puts it inside the 50. Buddy is running hard to get there, and he takes the mark. Big Lance Franklin.
Pure speed got him angle, and this is his distance here, Hutto.
Pure speed got him there, though, didn't it?
Oh, speed,
it was just, there was the space.
Speed's fine.
Read it early.
Straight line's okay. It's any time he has to change directions today, buddy.
He's better from the other side, though, isn't he,
Well,
Moons?
he hasn't.
I don't think it matters, does he?
These are obviously crucial moments, but you know, we've got a big-time player who hasn't had much of a game. But gee, he can have a big influence right now.
Hanbury back on.
That's well done, Hart.
Hanbury on, great effort. But he said to the Doc, I'll have a crack.
Here's Franklin. He's a big-time player. And Lance Franklin kicks a big-time goal. Huge goal for Sydney. And the margin is cut to a point on the Sites and Stores scoreboard. Custom design websites built in Melbourne. And Sydney are 9-6-60. Western Bulldogs 9-7-61.
Well, Jackling's jerky stats for the quarter. Inside 50s, Mick. 6-4 in favour of the Dogs.
No
but
score.
It's 1 goal, 1-0.
Yeah. And again, it gets down to being able to compete in the air. And what the Dogs want is more numbers down there so they can actually bring the ball where it comes to the deck. But when you have a man behind the ball and it served them well, then you've got to be precise in your forward line.
Roughhead now pushing forward. He's come off the bench, going down, or come off the ruck, going into the forward line. So they've now got that tall option because Stringer Anytime the ball's gone near Stringer in the air, he just has not given them the contest that they've needed.
Hanbury going onto the wing.
He can't move either.
Yeah, only in straight lines.
So Franklin kicks them back within a point, but the Dogs get the centre clearance. The tap down to Clay Smith. It lands 30 metres out, and heroic stuff back there from Nick Smith. He takes the mark on Picken. He wanted a handball. He decides to chip past to Heaney. He would have had some nervous moments in flight there, but he takes it okay. Inside the deep 50 and kicks it out to the wing with an angling kick to Hanbury. Now he's marked it okay. Can he go back and take his kick, or will he look to handball off? Forced to kick here, Hanbury. This will be a bit of a test.
Oh yeah, that hurts.
Dangerous. That's what it felt.
He's there for one rotation.
Yeah.
Up goes, Hewitt, and it comes off hands. Was it deliberate? No, it wasn't.
There's no deliberate today.
He's got a 25-metre kick at best in him, Hanbury, at the minute.
We called Hunter earlier. Got caught in between and didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
He's done it again.
Yeah.
He's got to pick up Hunter. He could be the catalyst in this last quarter.
Bulldogs lead by a point. Naismith gets the tap. Caleb Daniel gets the clearance, kick to half forward. It pitches in front of Cordy. He tries to shake off the Laidler tackle. He's done enough to get it to Stringer, but he is mobbed straight away. They come from all angles, and there's no getting out of that. Well done, Heaney. He locked on to Jake Stringer, and we will have a ball up. Mick and Moons today for Advice Line Injury Lawyers, now open in Melton. It's the Dogs 61, the Swans 60. 9 minutes into a thrilling last quarter in this grand final.
Here's Bonampelli, collects on the wing. Where to go to? His handball away, McRae. Now goes to half forward, and Picken! Big mark, Liam Picken.
He was on the ground when he took it.
What a final series he has had, this man.
Fantastic.
Go back and kick it. Go back and kick it.
Can he bang it from outside the 50? It won't have the legs.
Play.
Needs the mark. And Heaney got there with a crucial spoil over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in left forward pocket, Western Bulldogs. What about the jump from Picken?
He went very early, pushed the group under the ball, virtually back on the ground when he took the mark, but great spoil, Heaney, one-on-one.
I was about to say that. How outstanding for Heaney.
Yeah, Glenn Cameron group mark of the day. The Dogs lead by 1. They're deep in attack. Naismith the tap. Got it down to Rayford. Couldn't shake off the tackle. Boyd has a chance, but he can't get it clear. McVeigh puts a big tackle on, and there's no room to move right now.
Interesting. Sydney have got 2 in the goal square on 1. The Dogs have got 2 back inside the centre. If it comes out, they'll resurrect it.
Quick throw up. Bont got the tap down to McRae. Jake Stringer! He's done it!
Well, I was going to say...
He's owned the moment when it came, Jake Stringer. He's had a dirty dog of a day until now, but the moment was there, and a rise Jake Stringer he does. They lead by 7, and the belief returns, Moons.
Well, I was going to say, Mick, there's no point having 2 blokes in the square 20 metres off the contest. The ball's always going to go over your head.
That's ridiculous. They did it against...
Get the numbers around the ball.
Absolutely. What are you saving? You're saving a bounced goal. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Not when you've got 2 blokes sitting there. You've got to come up and contest the football at the source.
SEN Sites and Stores scoreboard, custom design websites built in Melbourne. 10-7-67 the Dogs, 9-6-60 the Swans. 11 minutes gone. This quarter for air conditioning warehouse sales. Buy direct and save with Melbourne's best heating and cooling prices.
Listen to that chant. The Western Bulldogs fans are starting to believe. In the middle, Naismith wins it down. Taylor made for Parker, who trips at the crucial moment. Got the handball away to Hewitt. Hewitt sends a high one. It's inside the 50. Hanley is there. Spoil. Kennedy went past him. Matty Boyd picks it up. Handball wants the boundary line, won't get it. Kennedy able to pick it up. We got the kick away just in the nick of time. And it's going to be Morris to try and kill it. Still up for grabs. Boyd goes in, might have got high contact. He threw it away.
Yeah, it was a throw.
He threw it away.
I thought there was high
Sydney.
contact first, but there was definitely a throw after
it's
that.
Hewitt's free kick for Sydney. We'll have a look at the Chemist Warehouse replay.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think it was high.
It was caught in the tackle, and when you dispose of it, you're better off than not touching it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
George Hewitt is the man with football in hand, lining up the goal. From 45 metres, it's a tough angle. It's on its way for Hewitt. He kicks the goal for Sydney. They respond. And it's back to a 1-point ball game. What a grand final we got at the MCG. 12-minute mark of the final quarter. Science and Stores scoreboard. Sydney to 10-6-66. The Doggies lead 10-7-67.
Yeah, it's not. This is far from finished. I know the Dogs look like they've had a little bit of momentum come their way, but reality-wise is that Sydney, it's always going to be a low-scoring game. And if you can make the miss or get a freebie or a mark or something in the forward line, you're going to knock it over.
It's opportunities now,
It
isn't
is
it?
opportunities, and that's the whole thing about finals. You get a bit tired at the end, mistakes get made.
Dan Hanbury in consultation with the Doc at the moment. He wants to get back out there, just as that rotation you just talked about, Vossi, but the Doc's not so sure.
10-7-67 plays 10-6-66, and anti-climax as the umpire puts in a bad one.
Well, if he can't run at the moment, Half, do you put him in the middle if that rotation, or you try and put him forward?
Put him forward, just play a decoy.
Yeah.
Snappy play by Liberatore, just demanded the footy. Got it inside 50. Stringer's got a taste for it now. And he manages to get a little kick out. And Rampy got an accommodating bounce and quickly gets it onto the boot. Deposited it's on the wing, but Biggs playing in front of was touched off the boot. He didn't realise. Tackled by Papley. Heaney got the loose ball. Poor bounce. A poor handball. In goes Boyd. In goes Papley. The apprentice plumber. He's been to some bad places under the ground before, so putting your head over the hole on the MCG is not such a bad thing. 1 point the difference. Ball up on the wing. Liberatore gets it long towards full forward. Grundy chases it back under all sorts of pressure from Zane Cordy. Kicks it away. Stringer chases. His lungs burning as he goes after it. Richards cleared the path. Mills filled it. Handball to Hewitt. He didn't know what was about to hit him. He slid down, and Boyd has given another free kick away to Heaney. This time on the half-back flank, and it won't be as costly. And so the kick from Hewitt goes up to the wing. 14 minutes gone, final term. Naismith couldn't mark. Kennedy just grabbed the ball and said, come and get me, and they couldn't. The handball from Parker to Franklin, who can stand up in the tackle. He manufactured a kick. It went nowhere though, and Tom Boyd got it onto the boot. He kicks it deep to Smith and Picken. They thrust and they parry. It comes to Toby McLean. He's chipped it out in front of Cordy. Cordy being chased by Grundy. Got the perfect bounce. He chips it in, and Stringer, did he get a nudge? He couldn't take the mark. Mills has got it off to Lloyd, and now to Nick Smith. Oh, they haven't quite dodged it yet. Matty, over to you.
It's McRae now. He picks it up outside the 50, has some time, waits and goes to Picken. He fought his way through that well.
He's got a 2-on-1 in the goal square. If he was quick, Grundy's got back.
Yeah, they've still got it. There's no real height down there though, Moons.
No.
He's got to use his ball.
Just hasn't done anything in the air.
Get in as low as you possibly can.
Picken goes deep. He wants a big mark. Stringer, he flew, couldn't take the mark. Up for grabs. Dalhouse got the handball out. Tom Boyd, the big man's dragged down on the tackle, can't get it out. Umpire will come in and pull it up 30 metres out for the Western Bulldog goal. They lead by a point.
We've talked about his marking all day, Tom Boyd, but his ground ball efforts have been super.
I just think he's been excellent today.
Ball up.
Absolutely excellent.
Tippett wins it down. Picken played for a free. Libber got the handball away. Kennedy a little kick. Here's Matthew Boyd. Gathers. Got the handball out. McLean. He got the handball to Caleb Daniel. Can he find a way, little man? He goes top of the square, needs a mark. Heaney gets back with courage and crunch.
Oh, don't know about that.
No free kick.
Dunkley, just a contest, surely.
Contest, yeah. That's just an ordinary decision.
Great courage from Heaney. Won't go back with the flight.
No, in fact, Dunkley almost marked it. I mean, you can't. That's unfortunate.
Short to Grundy, and then further short across half back. And the Swans have the mark with Papley.
The Swans have got two fresh legs that have just run on, and they're flying across the half-forward line.
Kennedy off. Oh, he got into all sorts of trouble. Papley turned it straight over. Tried to get it back. Put on a good tackle. They're at half-back with Lloyd. But the pressure is relentless. It always is for the Dogs. The handball to McRae. And back to Dunkley. And then inside 50. Desperate straits for Mills. It's a tough line place when they come for you in a grand final. The Dogs are still pushing in the pocket. Emerging Cordy. Can't get it. Jones. Daniel to Boyd. His kick smothered. Up and down. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Biggs diving in. It's in the pocket. Dunkley gets the handball off. Centering kick. McLean. He can't take the mark. But guess who's got it? Guess who's kicked it? Picken. Liam Picken has kicked the goal for the Bulldogs. That sends them 7 points. And they are staring at history now. They've got a taste for what could be an incredible day for all you Bulldogs fans.
The pressure.
Unbelievable. It was buggered up on the other side, but the Sydney player had plenty of time. He had Franklin in the middle. He didn't use it. Went back, got it smothered. That started the catalyst, or the genesis, if you like, for that goal, because it went forward. And how many times would the ball have gone, changed hands in that?
We've constantly talked about the ball being played inside the doggies' half, and it just has in this quarter.
There was just some crucial contest. McRae being able to stand up in the tackle, and then Mills thinks that he's out and he gets tackled. And then they're able to keep the ball in the forward half, as you said, get a goal.
Bulldogs by 7. We're back in the middle. Here comes Jones, knocked forward. Hunter, he knocks it down. Quick kick, Dixon goes to half forward, it's inside the 50, it's a bouncing football. Boyd just knocks it, McRae, boundary line close, keeps it in, goes with a centering kick, Picken! Smashed away by McVeigh. It's still up for grabs. Dunkley knocks it back. Picken goes again. He's been caught by McVeigh. Patley picks it up. He got it away. Quick kick, snap it, goal! And out towards the forward pocket goes Dunkley. Still alive here. Was there a free there? No. Grundy. He just got it under his boot and kicked it back to the wing. Picked up Joe Hannison. He might have a go. Joe Hannison for goal! Joe Hannison kicks the goal!
What a great smother on the line, Clay Smith.
Extraordinary scenes at the MCG. The Western Bulldogs lead by 13 points. And a Premiership Cup is close. 6 minutes to go. And they lead by 13.
He's been fantastic. He's
arguably in front of the Norm Smith voting right now, Bossy.
He's going very well. But he's just set him up so beautifully, hasn't he? Certainly the midfield intensity, the forward intensity we spoke about has just gone up, and that's created opportunities. It's created opportunities for the halfbacks to get involved because there's so much pressure inside that forward 50, and the defence of the Swans has been under pressure pretty much for the entire game.
Well, they can't get it out past 55, 60 metres, and the Dogs outside have got 2 players sitting back. And Johansson that time sitting back was able to then punt it forward, but the pressure, when you've got a Picken down there, when you've got a Daniel down there, when you've got a
it's being reviewed, by the way,
McLean down there, you're looking at real massive pressure.
The other thing is too, the Sydney Swans boys, they're tiring and they haven't got Hanbury out there as that rotation, Bossy. They're not using that opportunity to rest a player.
Having a long look at this.
I reckon all year we've heard Beveridge talk about belief.
That's
my goodness.
I reckon they believe now.
It's been overruled.
Oh no!
Wow. That's a stunning overrule.
Oh no!
It was punched. The fist was well behind the line.
It was Laidlow's fist.
Yeah, but they're saying the ball
wasn't quite over the line.
Oh my God!
That is a huge call.
That is a massive call.
Did the umpire call the goal or touched?
I think a goal.
He must have called a goal.
He called a goal.
Well,
it was reviewed. Well, that's extraordinary.
Yes, I don't know.
Oh, Rampy, long down the middle. Swans will feel a bit desperate now. Oh, what a mark.
Hasn't he stood up?
Roughhead takes the mark.
Well, both their tools have been excellent today, Roughhead and Boyd.
And Boyd wants it long. He's hungry for the footy. Sets it up. Can he hold his ground? He almost did. It drops. Play on the call. The crowd roared. It comes to McRae. McRae's kicking the square. Jones taking no chances. The crowd's still stunned by the overrule right now. There's a feeling in the gut of their stomachs right now, the Bulldogs fans.
2v1 here. They'll come out this side. They'll come out to the members' side here.
They lead by 9, 11-9, 75 to 10, 6-66. They went down the middle.
It's unbelievable.
Straight down the guts goes Lloyd, off hands, Hunter inside the 50, and the mark taken by Jones of Sydney. Got the handball away. Mills, he'll look to go on the 45 here with a kick, and Buddy, no, didn't quite take it. Good spoil away. Franklin will go again. Morris, great tackle. He made the spoil. He made the tackle. Boyd takes it. Tom Boyd, a ball burster, a big goal, a big kick. That's a goal. Don't worry about that. That's a goal for the Western Bulldogs. Morris, you are a hero today.
What a brilliant run down and tackle, Morris. What a great big goal from Big Boyd.
Why wouldn't you be surprised at Morris though?
Oh,
he's a head on a heart.
He gives his heart.
He's a head on a heart, and as you said before, Moose, isn't it great to see 2 players like Roughhead and Boyd get involved and finish that off from 55 metres. Now they're putting Franklin behind the ball so they get to run through the ball. This is danger time. The Dogs have got to meet him halfway coming from the back half here. Well, Picken's gone up to him anyway.
He brought down Buddy, and he might have brought down the Swans. Bevo is very excited right now. Swans have got to get on the job. The tap down, though, goes the way of the Bont. He can't handle it cleanly. They've shut him down, and the Swans get it out. Franklin's in the middle. Neat little sidestep. Buddy's on his way with a bounce. Buddy's going to go for a spearing ball inside 50, and it hits the target, Ben McGlynn, who lines up to shoot for goal. 12-9-81. The Dogs. Sydney 10-6-66. 15 points the difference. Last quarter for air conditioning warehouse sales.
Don't need to panic here,
No.
man.
Well,
they don't
need to panic. There's still more than 4.5 minutes to go.
But if they miss this, they're in massive trouble.
Panic.
Yeah, he's got to go back and kick it. He's 35 to 40 metres out, Ben McGlynn. And it's tight. It's the wrong side of the post. And he hangs his head in disappointment.
I'll repeat again. When Franklin comes from that side of the ground, you've got to meet him. Otherwise, he'll get involved with, like he did just then.
Back to 14 points.
Here's Johannesson, kick to himself. He looks to the member side. That's where he sends that football. Jones will get back. Couldn't take the mark. Bontempelli tried to bulldoze his way through. He wants to stop it. He drags it back in. He sits over the top of it, and the umpire will come in and ball it up. That was a big play from Marcus Bontempelli.
There you go, picking up on Franklin, who's sitting about 30 metres at the back of the pack, now going forward. I reckon they're one back line player short, the Dogs, at the moment.
Margin 14 in favour of the Dogs. Parker, third man in. Knocked it forward. Hunter collects. Got the handball away to Johannesson. He gets it onto the boot and sends it to the members' wing. Stringer, the man in front. Made it a contest. Ground level, Nick Smith did well in the air as well. And then we're going to have another ball up, and it's on the members' wing in front of the interchange gates, with the Doggies leading by 14 points in front of a crowd of 99,981.
And it's almost out, and now it is.
Geez, looking at Johannesson's game at the moment, he's had 30 possessions, 23 of those kicks though, Mick.
Yeah.
That's what you want from
and
your
carries the ball.
half back line. He carries the ball. He's had 9 inside 50s
If Bossy
off the
doesn't
half
give him
back
the
line.
It's unbelievable.
Seriously, Bossy, come on.
Boundary throw-in takes place. 3 minutes 50 away. And the throw-in goes Daniel's way, gets mobbed straight away. Sliding in Mitchell, it's all on the wing, but Bontempelli with a release. He was able to liberate Boyd, who kicks him to half forward. Stringer's there. Stringer's got it. The handball's going to go to Boyd. $1 million man has just kicked a behind.
Oh.
He's just kicked a behind. And that would have been done and dusted, but I tell you what, it's close anyway. 3 minutes 26. Rampy knows he's just got to blast away. Kicks it straight down the middle. And the Swans are able to capture it. Tip it, a handball to Mitchell. Kick got squashed, and the Dogs meet every challenge head on. Matthew Boyd, the Boyd brothers. They're no relation, but they've been fantastic today. Kicks to half forward. Grundy puts his head over the ball. The Dogs are still coming for them.
Grundy, a little bit lame. He got the handball away. Nick Smith, Jones under the pump, got it back. Lloyd was able to clear it. He goes the high ball though. It's Franklin, good mark. And he wants to get on with things very quickly. Looks up, there's nothing, so he goes out wide. It's going to be Matty Boyd leading in the race to get there. McLean will put him under the pump. He did well, Boyd, played it well. Morris, Johannesson, they worked through it well. And then up the wing, Dunkley, he gathers it in for the Western Bulldogs. Missed the target with the kick though. Might open it up for Stringer. Picked up by Dalhouse. Got the handball away to Daniel. And now here's Stringer. He can ice the game. He takes a bounce. He goes for the centering kick. And Picken doesn't take it, but kicks the goal. That's it. The Doggies are going to win the flag. The Doggies are going to win the flag. It's extraordinary. It is unbelievable. The Western Bulldogs, they lead by 21 points and the cup is theirs.
Oh, what a brilliant finish for the Dogs. Just look at the supporters. They're already crying, Bossy.
You should hear the noise down here, boys.
Crying half.
They are just about jumping down from the top tiers at the moment. They're that happy, the Bulldog supporters. It is outrageous what's going on down here.
Tell you what, in the stringer for most of the day, that ball was going outside 50. He chased, he put 3 or 4 tackles on, finally got the ball back, and then kicks it to Pickett.
He would have been shamed if he hadn't, though, because of the efforts of the other boys.
Exactly. At least did have a great day, Stringer, but when the moment was there, he did something.
Centre bounce. Tippett got the tap. Hunter. It's all glory now for the Bulldogs. Free kick, got one high. Yeah. The Swans have come up short, and they trail by 21 points.
So this bloke's second half's been a hell of a lot better than his first, Mick.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sydney have tried to put another forward into it. Roll the dice now.
Hunter goes short, and he finds Johannesson behind the wing, and there's no hurry now. They can lap it up. clock says 27.5 minutes. So they know in their heart of hearts that they've done enough, the Bulldogs. They're playing keepings off. They're relishing every second.
Look behind the goals, Hutto.
Well,
Murphy's come down, and Bevo as well.
All the coaches are down. They're all hugging on the boundary line.
Yeah.
They know they've got this one.
The celebrations have begun. There's a blood rule here
Yep.
on Hunter, and he's absolutely filthy because he wants to be out there when the siren sounds. Toby McLean is going to come onto the ground. There's a minute 30 still to go. And look at those scenes. Daniel Jean, Syracusa.
What about poor Bob
Chris
Murphy? How does he
Grant.
feel? Bobby Murphy.
The ultimate in bittersweetness as the kick goes from Wood out to the wing. Toby McLean goes for a hang, can't take it. It hits the ground, it comes to Dalhouse. He's able to control it and gets it to Hamling. And then off to McRae. We're down to a minute 16. Back to McLean, going to wind his way through. Down the line goes Caleb Daniel. He kicks it out of bounds on the full. And the free kick. That down there in front of half. Great scenes down there for Petter's half.
Just magnificent. Luke Beveridge and Chris Grant embracing like they haven't seen each other for 20 years. It's just magic.
Oh, here's again.
Here's Johannisen away to Bonempel. It might not be over yet. There might be more on the scoreboard. Roberts, Dixon, got the handball. Little Caleb Daniel,
Picken.
a cold hero. Picken, can he do it again? Can he get out the back? He wants it. He wants the football. He's got it in the forward pocket. Handball away to Stringer. Absorbed the tackle. Trying desperately to get it out. He did. And McLean takes the football and was taken high.
And get surprise,
And we'll
surprise.
take the free kick. We'll take the free kick. And we'll kick from the forward pocket. The game is already done and dusted.
Is the coach down yet?
Yeah,
they're
he's
all
there.
there.
He's there.
Yeah.
He's there. He's being mobbed, Mick, but he's there.
It's extraordinary. It's one of the great finals
amazing
performances
September.
of all time.
Amazing September.
What a beauty.
Incredible.
They went to
Seven.
Perth, they beat the Eagles, they beat the Hawks, they beat the Giants, and they're about to beat the Swans. Here's McLean. He misses. A win for the Western Bulldogs. A lifetime of heartache, and the drought is over at the MCG. They beat Sydney. An extraordinary September. The Doggies are premiers, and they win by 22 points.
And look at them come from everywhere, Matty. What a scene down in front of us. All those years of frustrations and disappointments. But Bevo's brave hearts have done it. Look at him go. Look at him run. Those biceps, they're bulging as he runs out. The Swans are in a heap. Chris Grant's in tears. Rowan Smith, they can't believe it. But you better believe it, Bulldogs fans. This is absolute priceless. This is just blitz. There's tails wagging around the country, boys. The Doggies have done it. They've won the 2016 AFL Grand Final by 22 points. What a magnificent sight around the MCG. For the Scraggers and the Sprays over the years, it's just unbridled jubilation.